Happy Friday night. Welcome back. Happy cocktail night. Welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. I'm Deanna. It is cocktail night. It is Friday night. And you know what else it is? It's stupid night. I did something very stupid. I think we're going to be okay. Have you seen the movie Speed? I mean, I haven't, but I know the premise. I left the house without my computer plug, and I have 23% of a charge left. Don't panic. Jay shot back from the studio because he was here at the studio too, to pick it up at the house. So fingers crossed that he makes it back and plugs me in time. I didn't want to wait another minute. I was playing chicken with the time a little bit. I am so sorry about that. This was a classic Deanna. Did I do that? And I did. You know I did. You know I did. All right, let's get going on our night because we have a wonderful night. I think we're going to be okay. Fingers crossed. Couple of things I want to tell you before we get started. And let me visit with everyone who's here. I am truly worried about this. I am. But 20-something should last a little while. I took the plug out because I was so tired because this morning, did you see the video of going to the Charter Oak Cultural Center? We took down the show and I met Juliet Page there, and we had an amazing video. It was my favorite video to date. She showed some spinning, right? Did you see this? It was live. It's there for you if you haven't seen it yet. It is my favorite video that I've done so far. She was fantastic. She showed us her Chesapeake series. She showed us how she does spinning and blending on her board. It was absolutely amazing. I was so excited. And then I was very tired after taking the show down and everything. So I was laying in bed working on work and finishing the show, not plugged in. And then I left with the plug right there. So fingers crossed. Let's hope for the best. You know how stupid I am, right? You already know that. So show is down at the Charter Oak Cultural Center. Lots more stuff happening. The Van Gogh part of the show is moving to Delaware. So if you're interested in making a Van Gogh chair rug, make sure that the link to the free pattern, right? It's something you can load at any size and do in any medium. That is in the body of this video. So that should, let me put the light on here. That should be there for you. I also put into the shop, because Juliet and I talked about this a while back, you know, you will certainly know her three, the Chesapeake Fantasy series, the 3 rugs we were looking at this morning. People have been asking for those like crazy at Ribbon Candy Hooking. So today is the day that those 3 went into the store, right? Just on linen, not kitted, because if you know how she works, it's very, very unique. So I couldn't kit those for her, but there is patterns, and she pretty much walked you through in this morning's video how to do it, baby. So have a look at that. Those are there. The link to the Juliet page is also in the body of this video. You know what else happened yesterday? I almost couldn't deal with this. You know how I struggled with the first book, with getting it done, and there was lots of cuts and there was lots of edits, and I saw that it came in the mail. And it did, and I did not want to open it. It's just the amount of trauma associated with putting the project together was a lot. But I did open it, and I can't really go through all of it. This is an advanced copy, right? I have to say, it looks amazing. There are gallery pages up front, and materials, non-traditional materials. I can't believe that I took all these photos. They actually look amazing. Keeping an eye on that little making your own frame. I mean, I guess I wrote this book. There's a bunch of pictures of Joss, but unfortunately, all of the pictures of Teddy were edited out. It was like a knife to the heart. It is an extraordinary looking book, I have to say. There's now there's only 12, I think 12 techniques in here. 15, there were 15, so we use that content for something else. But there's a lot of history. The patterns are in the back. More when I can show you, but I am actually very happy with this. It's a nice thick book. It's a big binding. It's 168 pages. A couple of pictures in the back, one of me and my sister, because she did the illustrations for it. She did such gorgeous these kinds of illustrations. Like this one. This is the Lachuk one. Sorry, the sun is right there. Smells like teen spirit. It smells like my taco stand sweat, because I was so stressed about this. Mwah, mwah. Book number 2 almost done. Let's go. So let's go with a gallery night, because I am a little bit worried. We look like we're doing okay. Let me give a quick shout out to all my buddies who are here. Kat's Gallery, great to see you. Beautiful sunny day. Hey, cheers, my dears, everyone. I'm drinking a stout tonight. Melanie, great to see you. Looks like you got some dyeing projects going on the Facebook group. Cloudy and cool in Western Washington. Candace, good evening. Great to see you. Sandra, great to see you. Happy Friday, everybody in Richmond Hill, Georgia. Andrea, great to see you. Cheers, my dears. Raspberry mojito tonight. You had some nice hot sunny days in the UK. I am so glad. I am so glad. Bugs all over the place. Pamela, great to see you. Beautiful work I have of yours in the show. You too, Andrea. Beautiful work tonight. This is my favorite gallery night so far. I know I might say that a lot, but this time I mean it. I guess every time I mean it. It's exceptional work tonight. Really exceptional. Linda H. Happy cocktail night in Massachusetts. Robin, cheers, my dears. I put your embroidery stuff into this show. It is fabulous. I'm looking at how much is left of the charge. This is going to be crazy until he gets back and plugs me in. Becky, happy Friday. Great to see you. Gorgeous week in Indiana. Happy Father's Day weekend, by the way. If you're celebrating, happy Father's Day to your families. Mom, you're there. Yay, cocktail night. So good to be there. Everyone, it seems like ages. It does seem like ages. It's been, I think, 3 weeks. Linda B. Cheers, my dears in New Jersey. Ryan, I'm so glad you're there. I got your pieces into the show. You're grilling and blackberry mocktails tonight in North Texas. Peace and love to you, too. Pamela, love Mandy Cornish's sweet rug. Happy kitty face. I know she added the kitty face. The heart is embedded. Mom, I took that rug down today. That is a pattern called Mauda, spelled with an E-N at the end. Maiden. It's a town in the Netherlands. Took that down today, Mom. It's coming to you on Monday when we come to bomb in on you for maybe 2 or 3 nights with the kids, starting the vacation. Juliet, you logged on. I'm so surprised. You're here but driving. Okay, so I know you'll pay attention to what you're doing. Literally, if you have not seen the video we shot this morning, you must watch it. Like later it is so good. Juliet was stellar, absolutely stellar. So we were talking about a lot of things, Juliet and I, that kicked up as a result of that amazing chemistry, and just she's super knowledgeable in areas that I am not knowledgeable at all. So it was wonderful for me. Great learning experience for me. Judy, great to see you. You're waiting not so patiently, raspberries and blackberries to ripen here in Indiana. Oh, it'll be soon, I hope, won't it? And Judy, great to see you. Cheers, my dears, in the UK twice in one day. I know, I was thinking the same thing. We're going to spend ultimately 3 hours together today if the computer doesn't crash before he gets back. Holy mackerel. April, great to see you. Oh, Linda B., I'm so glad you enjoyed the video with Juliet. Her work is absolutely stunning. April, great to see you. Marty, great to see you in Glenville, New York. Hello in Pennsylvania. Judy, great to see you. Ryan Richards just made it. Great to see you. I put a photo of yours in here too. You know I would. Linda, great to see you. You were here in person yesterday. We had a great visit. Linda picked up some great supplies. She is on her way. I have a couple of your images in the show. On her way to being one of the great rug hookers of all time. I'm telling you. Low volume. Oh boy. Turn the volume up. Please tell me you heard some of that. Holy mackerel. Why would the volume be down? Honestly, why would the volume be down? Judy, great video this morning. Kay, great to see you. I just turned the volume up. Hopefully it's better. Wendy Wilson in very hot South Texas. Great to see you. Melissa, great to see you. Jay on the bottom right microphone. Yep, it is a slide. I just slid it. It was on mine. It went all the way low again. Classic. Low volume. Did you hear any of that? Please say yes. Dave, great to see you. Gayla, great to see you. Good evening in Wisconsin. I hope we're there now. Got your email, Ryan. Oh, you are so welcome. Just checking in on you. Ruth in Wisconsin, great to see you. Lynn in sunny Tucson. Country gal Ruth, just following the thread. I am so sorry about the low volume. Good, it's fixed. Okay, excellent. Did you hear me say that I forgot my plug and Jay just ran back for it to Hamden? It's like a race against the time. I hope that it stays on. If not, look for a subsequent link on the Ribbon Candy Hooking page and the YouTube channel. Because if it poops out early, I will put another link on. I will wait for you, and we will finish gallery night. This is our biggest night of the month. So let's do this. I showed you my book with no volume, but let's just do this. We'll catch up with everything later. Come on, Jay, hurry up. Now, best gallery night ever. Are you ready for this? I'm going to walk you into it in this way. Let me bring you to the first slide. Wanted to show you the book is out, right? So I was just showing you this. This is my daughter, Jocelyn. This is my daughter Jocelyn, looking at the book. Look at how excited she is. She is so happy and proud. This is so sincere. She looks like a little monkey in this photo. She was so excited. And I was excited too. She's really thrilled. Now, I wanted to show you this because I mentioned it this morning with Juliet at the Charter Oak Cultural Center. When, thanks, Pamela. When we were there, she mentioned her fiber trees that her husband made, and he refers to it as the fiber forest. And she would like some more, and it was a big no. He's not making any more. He feels that the fiber forest is sufficient. And I mean, this is what he built for her years ago, and they are on kind of turning lazy Susans. So I mentioned this morning. I wanted to show it because in terms of design or building something like this, if you also have materials that are worthy of a fiber forest in your home, this might be something that you want to shoot for, because what a great use of space. What a beautiful, inspiring display. We talked about this morning in the video at the Charter Oak Center where Juliet was spinning for us on the drop spindle and on a little, what do you call that thing? What do you call that thing? Is it just a spinner? The thing on the table that was spinning? I'm guessing it's a spinner. We were talking about it then, so I wanted to show you that. Juliet also sent me this picture. This is part of your stash. This is like, I can hear like Ricky Ricardo going like, Lucy. I mean, this is part of your stash in addition to the tree forest, and I know that you have a lot more. So I'm living vicariously through you because I'm seeing some bits and pieces here that I am just absolutely dying for. Absolutely beautiful supplies. It is not surprising that you do such extraordinary work. Moving on to gallery night, I know, gasp, absolutely, Pamela, right? Crazy. She said she might have plans for that, so we can drill her and find out if we can get some help with plans for that. Kara, this is an absolutely beautiful submission for tonight. You wrote, after I finished Friends Are Like Flowers, I found I didn't really like the words. They're difficult to see the color, and they must have the same value. So I need to fix it. Now, I remember the piece. I don't remember thinking there was a problem with it. So it could be, hey, it has to be right for you, right? It has to be right for you. The pattern is, okay, so I need to fix it. The pattern is Cindy Gay. It's called A Little Flower. I traced it 4 times on rug warp. Once I was hooking, I decided to add the words and the same flowers in the center and corners. So this is your other one, right? This is the other one that you're going to be fixing. So I'll have to look at that again. Because again, I remember it, and I don't remember there being something wrong. So that's a to be continued. And I'm also going to say the little leaf is on. So if I have a problem, look for me to come back. I'm not going to poop out this early in the show and not come back. I am all ready to go. I have a kimono on. I have my beer freshly opened. If I poop out, look for me both on the Facebook group, which is Rug Cooking and Punch Needle Club, and on the YouTube channel Ribbon Candy Hooking, because I will set up another link. I promise. So this is the project you're working on now, Kara. The next project took me at least a week to decide. And you chose words again. Oh, Elaine, good to see you. Kara says, so I did cross-stitching during that period. When I was missing my grandkids. I used to be with them daily, but this vertigo, I remember the vertigo, has really limited your visiting time. So I decided to make this design. Grandkids are amazing. And little motifs around the letters. I dyed the black to go with the other wool yarn and that I have dyed in the past. I also used some wool cuts. I'm going to put all 11 grandkids around the border. Holy mackerel. I just have to figure out how to fit them in on paper first. This has been such a joyful blessing finding rug hooking. It occupies my mind, not only the actual hooking, but the process of coming up with the theme, the designs, the color planning. So I'm not sitting around in self-pity with this constant vertigo. I love seeing my rugs on TV. So much fun. The next picture will be marked Friday Gallery too, and I caught it. So I'm so glad to hear you say that. I'm so glad, because this should be a pleasure, a joy, an escape, an avenue for creativity, for, it should be a counterbalancing anything bad that's going on, God forbid, in your life. I'm so glad to hear that. Whitney says, I will have to shoot for the next gallery night. Horrible leg and back pain for the past month. Went to doctor today and on 5-day prednisone. Oh, I'm so sorry, Whitney. I'm so sorry. Well, you will catch us next time, and you know that we're not going to leave you. It's recorded. It's there for you. Better to rest and get better soon, right? Diane says, oh, I'm so happy that you're there, too. I'm so happy to see you, Diane. I hope you're feeling better, Whitney. I love this pattern, Kara. You're gonna figure out how to get all the grandchildren around the edge. I know you are. So you are working away like a demon on this so far. Look at you go. Look at all these delicious loops that are being pulled up. You are hooking with wool, you're hooking with yarn. Great contrast with colors here. You are not fooling around at all. This is looking tremendous, right? You have got beautiful letters popping up in a softer yarn, right? That reddish kind of yarn, a rosy red yarn. Great contrast with that black background. Very bold background. No problem with legibility here. This is it. You got there. Hole in one. Beautiful white daisies, very crisp, very bright, very happy summery vibe, very childlike, fun, playful crayon colors. This is a fantastic piece. You are going to love doing this. You are going to love the problem solving of figuring out how to get the grandkids' names on here. And this is going to be a marvel. It already is. Can't wait to see it in the next show. Big to be continued, right? Now, Diane Quinn sent this beautiful rug. I saw this and I wrote to her for it because it had such a mid-century modern feel. The frame on the little dachshund dog, so beautiful. You wrote, my sister loves mid-century modern and her long-haired dachshund Lily. My attempt to honor both is this rug. It is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful oval rug. Beautiful portrait of Lily. Love the atomic starburst designs inside the cameo. And I love this border that is like a bracelet of all of these amazing mid-century modern shapes. Very odd shapes. When they go together, you can't mistake it for anything else. Beautiful use of neutrals, mostly neutrals and blue, making this nearly a monochromatic rug. Right, because we're looking at only blues and neutrals. Browns are neutrals, whites are neutrals, blacks are neutrals. So you're really dealing in a monochromatic palette, and you killed it. It looks colorful. It has geometry. It has play. It has fun. It has history. It has special meaning, right, with pup there, Lily in the center. This is an absolutely beautiful rug. And Diane, you had another rug that you did that was a dog rug, and this is Eddie. So totally different style. You made Eddie previously, I think, with all scrap yarn. Another beautiful piece. I love how you frame things out very differently. This is very different. Beautiful motion around Eddie's, he's a little black pug, around his head. Beautiful fancy frame, right? All of these bones. It makes a pattern at first glance, but when you look more closely, it's all of these bones with hit or miss decoration around the edges. It is absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. Right? Elaine, you love that pug, right? Absolutely love. I love them both so much. These are so, what a great way to honor the fur friends, right? I'm going to take a sip of I need to take a sip every now and then of this stout because I am stressed. When I hear that truck pull in, I'm going to be very relieved, I'll tell you. I was going to wait one more minute before I did anything, but I didn't want to keep you waiting either to see if I could stretch it out. We're going to make it work. You love Eddie, Andrea, and the really unique background. So clever, and it fits the subject. So this is something you always want to be thinking about when you're making new compositions and things. Try to make as much of it fit, be cohesive and fit the subject or the central motif, which is obviously Eddie. He's stealing the show here. Beautiful lettering as well. That's a great point, Pamela. That cursive is gorgeous. That is just gorgeous. Really beautiful. Andrea. Oh my gosh, Andrea, who is this? You wrote, hi Deanna, glad to have you back. Looks like you had a good time on Cape Cod. Oh, I did. The musical duo rug is still in process. Oh, okay, that's right. The like Tudor, the Tudor duo, right? That okay, wait a minute. It was Potage, something Potage, wasn't it? Oh, I can't wait to see that. And you work on it when you feel like it, as you should, right? Working on some other stuff. It just has hands and faces left to do. Here's your studio assistant, Fly. Oh my God, is it like a little papillon dog? Absolutely beautiful little sweetheart. The latest colored pencil. Oh, okay, so this is Fly, the studio assistant. Absolutely beautiful pup. This is amazing. Your latest colored pencil piece on sanded paper. So sanded paper is like sandpaper, right? This is so gorgeous. Papillon. Yep, absolutely. Fly is so precious. This is stellar. You said this was done as a challenge on Patreon, and it lived up to his name. It was indeed a challenge. This is so exquisite. It's amazing. Look at how white those whiskers are. This is so realistic. It's absolutely crazy. You are a proper artist. I am blown away by this. It is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So on sanded paper, I think that must be sandpaper. And this is a hooked project. Quirky houses on monk's cloth, wool, cotton. This is 21 1/4 by 17 1/4, based on some of your doodles. I just love this. What, I know, Robin, right? What a fun kind of forest of houses. What a great cluster village of all these different shaped houses. Some have kind of mushroom roofs. Some are tall and skinny and stretched in funny ways. Some are like tiny little Amsterdam canal houses. Some are, they're each a different architectural style, and they are all so much fun. And you have this framed. This is just beautiful. Andrea, you are always so busy, and you are always killing it. I mean, you're just knocking it out of the park every time. This is so fantastic is a great word, because it's like fantastical, literally. All of the fantasy in the houses, and the grass, the way you've broken the grass and the sky down, super whimsical, super fun, but it really holds its own. It is a village. It is a fun, funky village. Joyce, great to see you. It is super, super cute. Uh-oh, I think we might have a problem. We'll see how it goes. It might not be a problem, but we'll see. Let's see what happens. I want to have a positive attitude, right? Oh, Pam, here we go. Oh, no, my batteries, do you want to plug in your PC? I'm going to leave it. If you can just let me know that you can still see me. It's giving me the I am very low. Oh, let me just check my phone and see how close he is. Come on. I'm going to write how close. I can't believe I did this. I honestly can't. Trying to squeeze too many things into one day, and I lose my mind. Let me know. Okay, good. I'm going to keep going until it crashes, and when it does, look for a link, please. So, Pam, we looked at this at the beginning because I remember saying that your kind of hit or miss marble cake background border. Dave, good to see you. Did you tell us what you were having tonight, eating and drinking? Because I missed it if you did. 5 minutes. Let's see if we can hang on for 5 minutes. Oh, I'm sweating it out. Pam, I remember saying, as far as a marble cake background, this is such an old, sort of traditional look, but in colors I have never seen before. It could not be more interesting for me. It is absolutely beautiful. It is so colorful. I love the movement. I love the marble cake feel. It still functions as a hit or miss, but it does have a color scheme. And it is really, well, you are an artist, so you know this. It is really popping the blues. That dark, dark blue in the middle, it's not quite a navy blue. It's more inky. It's more juicy than that. Right in the center, that's a very unusual blue, but around the border you've got many blues, cool blues, purple blues, periwinkles, cornflowers, right? They are all really popping that yellow in the center. And you wrote, hello Deanna, happy Friday coming up. Cheers, I hope you had a wonderful vacation. I'm happy to say I made progress this month with rug hooking. My dandelion rug, formerly Daisy rug, which needed a name change because it looked like dandelions, was completed last week while I was in Florida for my granddaughter's high school graduation. Congratulations to you and your granddaughter. Dave, I'm jealous. I just have plain stout and fries. No shame. I go for chocolate stout and peanut butter stout anytime. Dandelions. Anyway, the dandelion rug has been so much fun for me. I'm not sure if I explained that the border of this rug was inspired by one of my favorite watercolor artists, Joseph Raphael. I'm not sure if we talked about him. Good morning, Gail in Australia. Good morning, lovely. Happy coffee time to you. He recently passed away, but I really admired his work. I can't remember if we looked at him. I'm going to have to pull him up and see. If I look at his work, I'm sure I'll recognize him or not. And maybe then we do need to talk about him. Stunning watercolors. He was a true master of the medium. This is Joseph Raphael. They almost looked like jimmies, those colorful sprinkles that are put on ice cream. Yep, absolutely. It does look like that. It's just delicious looking, isn't it? Anyway, it was just so interesting to see his amazing work. Then a border of random colors that kept your eye moving and going back to the painting. Anyway, that's what I was hoping to achieve as well. 6 weeks start to finish, 18.5 by 10.25 inches. Fantastic. Triumph. We have loved this piece from beginning to end. I love that piece. I love this piece. Also finished is my little French roses mat. I never did find, oh, here he comes. beeping and screeching into the parking lot. Don't worry, there's no one else here. Oh, fingers crossed, just a few more minutes. Oh my gosh, I'm just going to clear the way. Holy mackerel. Okay, let's hang on for 1 second because I can't concentrate and I do not want to do a disservice to Pam's rug. I hear his gentle footfall on the stairs. It's like Victorian melodrama. Here we go. Give it. I'm on the super alert. Oh my gosh, here we go. All right, hang on. Oh, please. Don't do anything bad. Oh God, I can't see it. Where's the hole? Okay. Yes, we're plugged in. Oh my God, thank you so much.
Good job.
Thank you so much. Baby, get out of my crotch.
Fun.
All right, holy mackerel. We are, now I'm sweating. Like taco stand times. To the rescue. Did you hear the horn? That was, okay, just give me a minute to recoup. That was a lot. That was too much. Deep breath. Whew. Because if I'm honest, I say I would have logged off and I would have posted, but would it have worked? Because it's me. It's still me. So I was very worried about that. I was being very optimistic, but hey, nice to meet you. It's still me. Could have had a lot of problems right there. Shout out to Jay. He's the man. Holy mackerel. One more sip. That was too much. It was too much for me. It's the big one. Oh, wow. Okay. Now I can concentrate. Whew. All right, Pam. French Roses. It's a beautiful mat. 11 1/4 by 17 1/4. You wrote, I never did find the batik fabric I wanted and had planned to use, but I did find some of the mint green color yarn that reminds me of the cotton fabric that was used in old quilts back in the 1940s and 50s. So I went with some very colorful yet pastel-y yarn. It's a cute little mat, and I'm considering making it into a pattern, as I've been asked about doing that. Absolutely you should. Absolutely you should. Not quite sure what that would entail. Would it be difficult to do? I don't know. So let me tell you, let's talk about that right now. Would it be difficult to make that pattern, to make that mat into a pattern so other people could enjoy it too? No, it wouldn't be difficult at all. What you would need to do is have a line drawing. Now, if you don't have a line drawing because you drew it directly onto the backing, just take the photo of it, like the one that I just showed, and just trace it onto tracing paper. Blow it up to whatever size you want, right? And then you're just transferring it. So I transfer with fiber tape. That's my medium that I like the most, and I have video on transferring with fiber tape. There's other ways, right? People use light boxes and all kinds of things. You could also bring it to Staples to stretch it out. Get it the size you want, and then figure out with which medium, right? There are plenty of videos on this. I have plenty of videos on this. How you're going to start putting them onto backing material. And then you get your backing material, and to make it super professional, I also have a video on drawing the border, because the border has to be absolutely flush to the grain, because particularly beginners, no offense, obviously, you know how I feel about beginners. I love beginners, but beginners will just follow the line that's drawn, not realizing it might be skewered and it might be problematic. So you have to make sure that your lines are absolutely squared. I have a video on that. And then just transfer it onto your backing, sew the edges with like a zigzag, or use a serger to finish the edges, and make sure you put like at least a 4-inch border around the edges. That's what I do anyway, because I feel like you never know if someone is going to want to add a little border. It's very easy. And if you want more help or you want to talk about it more, just send me a note to ribboncandyhooking@gmail.com, and we can talk about it some more in person or over Zoom. It's very, very easy. And if people are asking for it, that's a great compliment, and you should you should absolutely say yes. It is such a cute mat. If you're watching, yeah, it'll help with some of those questions, because it's very basic stuff, and I know with your art background and your talents, it's not even a question. It's easily done. Now, lastly, I'm working hard on my hollyhock rug. I'm trying to work on it for a little more than I have been. I'm trying to work on it a little more than I have been now that I'm back home from Florida. I did decide on a couple of surprise elements that I will have in this rug, and we'll be adding them more toward the end of the project. Ooh, surprises, huh? They're a secret right now. Uh-oh, okay. Now my brain is going crazy wondering, right, if it's going to be like surface bling or a different kind of a frame. This is really coming along, isn't it? You can also do a paper pattern. Yeah, Melanie, you're right. You can also just do a paper pattern and let other people worry about the transfer part. Melanie, that's a great point. You could definitely do that. You don't have to put them onto backing. You could sell them as a PDF or a paper pattern, and then other people can watch the videos and figure out how to get it onto backing. They'll certainly be able to, right? There's plenty of information out there. You did decide on a couple, okay, surprise elements toward the end of the project. They're a secret right now just between me and Beasley, my cat. Beasley is the keeper of the secrets at this moment. But we will see them in the end, won't we? I'm still loving my Chesapeake frame so much. To me, it was well worth the initial expense just for the ease in hooking large projects alone. Yep, absolutely. So, and a Chesapeake frame is like a floor frame, right? So that is where I am right now with rug hooking. Now, I had this in the slideshow, and I feel like now there's a butterfly on top, right? Where's the butterfly? Because I know in this one you wrote as the caption, you wrote the butterfly has flown, but she'll be back. Let's see. Oh, I see the butterfly. The butterfly's dark against the blue, right? Has she flown? No, she's still there. That can't be the butterfly. Pam, where's the butterfly? I see the butterfly. She's blue on top of the red flowers, right? The tomato red flowers. Yes, she has flown. That was a bit of a Where's Waldo, wasn't it? You see the butterfly up at the top at like, you look at 12 o'clock and then come down a little bit, and the butterfly's there, and uh-oh. Now she's gone, but she will be back, won't she? Oh, that is so funny. That is so funny. She flew the coop, but she's coming back. All right, great. Let's see. Let me keep myself in order. Starting to calm down. The sweat is starting to dry. What is wrong? What is wrong with me? Honestly, I'm telling you, I am like absolute Fruit Loop. Deborah, beautiful piece. Beautiful, beautiful piece. So let me see where I am with this. Hang on. Oh, wait a minute. I moved page. Okay, Deborah said, I just have the Indian corn cobs left to finish. Now, if you are not from this part of the country or a part of the country where you see a lot of autumnal changes, you know the Indian corn is that very colorful corn where each kernel is a different color. Yellows, whites, blacks, purples, all kinds of bruisey colors and bright autumn colors. It's so beautiful. This pattern was created from a photo I took last fall. I created a sample of colors before I started this time, which helps from having to rework areas. The outline of the corn kernels are kind of a made-up embroidery needlepoint stitch. Well, you know what? I'm going to stretch it out a little bit. I don't want to stretch it out too. I won't stretch it out actually because I think it's a smaller format photo and I don't want to make it unreadable. I can see what you mean. To the right of the pumpkin stalk at the bottom, there is some outlining, and you're saying you made up that stitch. I think that's brilliant. Be confident. Be a problem solver, right? Figure it out. You figured out how to outline it so it came out just right. Absolutely brilliant. Hats off, right? That is fantastic. I think it's working okay. It is working okay. It's looking beautiful. It's looking fantastic. I took some trial error to decide how to do this. The inside of the kernels are small hooked loops. Well, they are coming out. You can see piece by piece all the little corn kernels are evolving. I'm going to flip back to this, but I just want to remind you, do you remember? Let me see if I'm lucky enough to have it right here. I'm right here. I'm not leaving. I'm just checking something here. Hang on. I'm being a bit of a fool. I wanted to show you. Hang on. Maybe this. Oh, my gosh. I'm lucky. I am lucky because we took the show down today, right? This is Deborah's that was in the show. And I just want to show this to you because Deborah is designing her own pieces and you can really tell it's her style, right? Now come back over here. Can't you really tell that this is Deborah's rug? And she's filling in the corn kernels and it's not finished, but even though it's not finished, it really has a similar feel to this. You know what that is? That's being a natural artist, right? Being able to do that and to have a style, and you might not even realize you really have a style. And as soon as I saw that piece, I didn't even have to look at the name. I knew that it was your piece. And that's very exciting because I really don't have a style. I just keep working on stuff and I like everything that I work on. but I'm all over the place, and I really don't have a style. You have a style. I think that's really exciting. And to remember in this piece here, this was the one of the story of the bunnies, where you were taking a trip, I think from Arizona to California, and you stopped at like a traffic island, and there was this bunny was eating some of the grapefruit leaves, and you put some felt, like some loose felt in the ear there. So, and now you're doing something with embroidery stitches. So I just love the way that from piece to piece, you are finding other techniques to add into the composition to make it work for you and to solve problems. I think that's absolutely brilliant. That's what you need to do to be really successful and happy working in this craft. You have to be confident and solve problems. You can't be you can be stumped. You can be stumped 99 out of 100 times as long as you come back to it. Right? As long as being stumped doesn't throw up such a crazy speed bump that you don't enjoy it anymore and you say, forget it, I'm done. Right? It's great to have that mindset where you're like, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try making up an embroidery stitch and outlining the corn kernels. I just think it's a great frame of mind, and it's an inspiration, because sometimes I am a bit of a crack it over my knee, throw it on the fire person. So I can really take a page out of your book, Deborah, because you really are coming up with some really interesting techniques that are all your own, and you're sharing them with us, and we really appreciate that. This is another beautiful piece. Pamela, she really does have a great style. Yeah, it really is. It's graphic, but with very bold shading. It's really interesting. And the other, style-wise, the other thing that strikes me is the cropping. Right, the cropping of this is very unusual, and the cropping of this is very unusual. We're not getting a bunny, we're just getting the crop of a bunny. We're not getting the whole bunny's body sitting in the grass, crop of the fruit, crop of the leaves. So there is something about your style that's what appeals to you. It's coming out all on its own. It's absolutely wonderful. I love it. It's your thing. Maybe I shouldn't have even said that, because sometimes when you bring something to light like that, then you tend to overthink it, right? Don't overthink it. Just keep working in your style. You are doing great. Judy, what a beautiful piece this is. Oh, and you were writing to Jane, because you know Jane intercepts all my mail that goes to Ribbon Candy Hooking. You wrote, hi Jane, I'm so excited to have finished my new punch needle. Hopefully I have added pictures this time. You definitely have. You definitely have. The flower punch needle was mostly DMC. Love DMC. Super good price, tons of colors. What more could you want, right? You could even take it apart and use thinner ply of it, or put it together and make it thicker. I finished the countryside rug hooking because you all convinced me to. Now let's hold here for a second, because I have a few to show, and I really want to focus on this, because you know I have been pigging out on miniature punch lately, which is also known as Russian punch. What I love about this piece, Judy, I love everything about this piece. What I love particularly about this piece is the wild color blocking. I love, we tend to think, because mini punch is a much smaller scale, we tend to think of things in terms of scenes and keeping it simple, right? Because it's a smaller little canvas to work on. You think, keep it simple. No, you can employ exactly the same principles, tricks, tropes, devices that you would if you were making an enormous hooked rug or traditional punch rug. Why shouldn't you? It works great. Look what you've done here with this beautiful flower vase and all of this color blocking in the background. It's very graphic. It's very blocky. It's very exciting. You have got chunks of color, and you've got a bit of patterning going on with the circle bits, and even they are patterned within them. And then you've got lots of color going on in the stems. Very, very warm antique golds, very cool sort of pistachio colors. Never mind, I think I'm good. Yeah, I think I'm good. It's just, it is the best example that I've seen anyway of using the mindset of traditional rug hooking in a mini punched piece. So whether you do that on purpose or not, this is a great inspiration, because, uh-oh, let me shut the door. Someone's mouth is open. Someone's snout is open. This is a great example, a great reminder that you can go full blast, put your foot down on the gas with your favorite rug hooking techniques, carry them right into mini punch with you, and you get this. And I think everybody in the Facebook group loved it too. It was just gorgeous. And you wrote, I finished the countryside rug hooking because you all convinced me to, and I'm really happy that I did complete it. I remember with this piece you were not happy. I continue to love this piece. I continue to covet this piece. I really want this. I love this piece. I'm not begging for it. I just love I love this piece. I love the movement in the sky. I love how the tree echoes the movement in the sky. I love the completely disproportionate problem of the house versus the flowers. I mean, yes, the flowers can be bigger because they're closer. They're much bigger. That's what I love about it. I love it when the scale is off enough that it looks primitive and folky. This is my favorite kind of hooking. This is my favorite kind of designing. All of those textures, Linda, right? So pretty. The dimensions, Judy, the dimensions for, oh, I don't have those. I don't have those dimensions for the punch needle. So Judy, who made this, if you're on, can you give us the dimensions roughly? Because it does look, it's not tiny. It's not tiny. And I failed to say it is sort of bound or whipped around the edges, and it is mounted on a beautiful piece of wool. And that really is helping. The texture of that plaid wool in the background, really unusual colors, wrapped around, that is really helping this piece. It's yet more color. But there's something about the geometry and the strength of those straight lines in the plaid, right, that is the background, right, because it's mounted to a board or a piece of wood, and that's what the fabric is attached to, the wool plaid. There's something about that geometry, the strength, and all of those lines that really, really supports and furthers the wildness of the actual composition. So while you're all swirly and crazy and color blocky in the center, right outside we're continuing with the wild purple colors, but a lot more sort of formal geometry. Really great balance. You could not have picked a better backing material for this piece. Judy says punch needle approximately 10 by 8. Fantastic. You could not have picked a better backing, really. And yeah, I continue to be in love with this, and I'm very happy that you finished it. You have fantastic style. You have fantastic style. You have a great sense of color, the way that you drag the colors from or from the trees to the flowers to the hill, repeating those colors. The amount of colors in the trunk of the tree, now that is art. That is art. That light swirl that kind of mirrors or mimics the color of the house and comes sweeping up, brings your eye right up. Absolute, it's genius. It's absolutely genius. It really is. It really is. Because if you were to make this pattern again, it's very few lines. And I'm not sure that everybody who executed the pattern, myself included, would be able to have gotten this kind of clash, this it's harmonious, but there is a lot of different fiber, color, value, saturation, patterning versus not, static versus smooth, right? It's very exciting. I don't think even if I tried to be a copycat that I would get it to this point. Very happy that you completed this. This is truly a really artful piece. Whew. And yeah, I almost, I got stomach cramps when I saw this because I love Clarice Cliff. Love her. And I know there's a bunch of buddies on from the UK. Clarice Cliff is a pottery designer, Art Deco style pottery designer from the early 20th century. Real 1920s storybook feel. Very light, very bright, very whimsical, very well known. Beautiful pieces. If you watch Bargain Hunt or Antiques, British Antiques Roadshow, you see them all the time. I absolutely love this piece. You wrote, my addiction has forced me to continue. And the third design is loosely Clarice Cliff style. I can see it absolutely is. You can tell that it is, but it is so your own. And, there's no problem with copying Clarice Cliff pottery style. There's no copyright problem with that. The colors and the shape of the house, similar. The colors, similar. Absolutely reads as an inspiration, right? I love this. I love this. Let me finish the sentence. Hang on. I'm on a really tight budget with equipment. The Clarice Cliff I made on an embroidery stretch bar frame. Good for you, that works fine, like a needlepoint frame. It works surprisingly well. I was able to make it taut with the Elbacy, E-L-B-E, Elba, like Elba, C-S-E-E, Easy Clip, one word, Elbacy Easy Clip. I'm now trying to modify an older stretch bar frame strong enough for rug hooking. Well, I think you're going to make it work, right? Because you, again, another person that has this fantastic confidence, right? Oh, Cassie Playford from Rochester, New York. Oh, don't be sorry you're late. You are so good. I'm so glad you're there. So glad to catch you live. We're so glad that you're there. Oh, I'm so glad you're enjoying the videos too. Oh, I'm glad that you're inspired. Start working on some stuff when you feel like it and send it to us so we can celebrate your stuff on the next gallery night, even if it's just ideas, right? We will love your ideas. We'll love hashing it out with you. I love this piece. One of the things about Clary's Cliff that I love, the little houses and the scenes and all that, the color palette for sure, but what you've really captured well, you've captured everything well, right? I love the outlining in the sky. That tree that stretched out over the house, that is so Clary's Cliff. Not on every piece that she painted, right? Not on every design, but I think that's very cool. It's a weird kind of signature thing. Trees that stretch kind of unnaturally like this, right, with the very dark trunk. Because in Art Deco style, we don't see a lot of, particularly on pottery, I think, we don't see a lot of black. But she did dare to use black with this color palette that was otherwise quite different, right? Very, very warm and a little bit of black. It is not your traditional, right? No pinks, right? Some of her stuff is different, but I can't think of any of her pieces with pink. I'm thinking orange, green, yellow, right? Just in general. Certainly orange roofs, right? And maybe red. I haven't seen Bargain Hunt for a while. This is just a gorgeous piece. Is this mini punch too, Judy? This is just gorgeous. Look at those flowers on the right-hand side. Look at the way they pop forward. When I first saw them, Judy, I thought they were Pradi. That's how great they look. I love the striation. I love the color striping to them. I love the way you've got that flower field feel to the grass, right? Bars of color. I like the round Padula flowers, right? Matching the red flowers, climbing up. Fantastic having the red flowers popping the frame on the right and the continuation of the tree line popping the frame on the left. It is brilliant. Also that curve of yellow field moving in toward the house, the repeat of the yellow windows, very welcoming, like there's somebody inside. This is mini punch, thank you. This is very Clary's Cliff too, white background with a white house, but outlining makes it work. Outlining makes it magical. Look at the color on this frame, right? The spearmint green, jack-o'-lantern orange, and true black. Not an antique black, full blast black. It is such a fantastic piece. It is just, oh, I'm just dying over your pieces here. I love the colors in the trees too. I love that huge tree hanging over the house, like almost like an ominous thundercloud. I love it because it's a little bit funny, right? I don't mean like there's anything wrong with it. I mean, it strikes me as here's this little whimsical house and there's this big tree right over on top of it in a kind of a cloud shape, which is the Clary's Cliff shape. It's just very unusual, isn't it? It's a very unusual piece. In itself, just like the other two pieces of yours that we saw, it is a simple drawing, but you have taken it to a place that is absolutely unique that would be very, very hard / impossible to copy. It is just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. Whew, I honestly love this piece to bits. I love this piece to bits. And this is the frame. So, so what is this maybe the easy, what is this called? Elbazy Easy Clip. Is that what that is? I'm trying to make sense of it because this is a different kind of embroidery frame than I thought, but you made this work, right? And now you figured out how to make this work. I see the flowers in the background there. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I love seeing how people work and how people are solving problems, particularly in different countries. Because, Judy, right, in England, punch, I don't know about mini punch, because I haven't been there for a while. But, I mean, when I was living there for many years, certainly rug hooking was not a thing. Rug making was not a thing. I never heard anybody talk about punch needle. Quilting, yeah. Knitting, absolutely, right? But yeah, I mean, there is that British style of rug making, the rag rug style. But the kind of hooking that we see more in the United States, I didn't see that at all. And it could be that that's changed. Because there is a great population of rag ruggers over there, right? It's very different work. But it's more like the original spirit, right? Like we were saying with Juliet this morning. The British rag style is very Proddy driven too, right? There's a lot of Proddy examples, particularly up north. But it's very much in the spirit of traditional rug hooking, just using what you've got, using your scraps, your bits and pieces, problem solving, right? That's what you really have to do, particularly if you are somewhere other than North America. Because in the US and Canada, we can find stuff pretty easily, more or less. But in Europe, in Australia and other places, I'm telling you, I so admire the way that you all make it work, because I know it's like square peg, circle hole. So yeah, you all are killing it, and I'm keeping my eyes open and trying to get some tips in problem solving, because I think it's super, super ingenious, right? All of this problem solving. Oh man, no, hang on. This is Kathy. Kathy sent an email. I don't have the original email. It almost made me cry. I felt it was so, it like just really touched me. Kathy sent an email with a picture. This is the picture of her sheep with the rainbow, this charming rug. And it said something like, Deanna, you know, what is your opinion? Do you think that I have enough talent, like, to keep going with this craft? And it really brought tears to my eyes, because just the way that it was phrased was a bit heartbreaking, because I thought, this is absolutely beautiful, Kathy. This is absolutely beautiful. I said, you not only have enough talent to keep going and keep doing your own designs and keep working and keep playing with color and doing just what you're doing and having fun, because this is beautiful. You not only should, you must. It really is absolutely adorable. This is a great composition. This sheep has so much character. It's a really fun piece. It's a very distinctive drawing style. It's very whimsical. You've got two friend sheep in the background there. It is absolutely precious. All of these beautiful flowers, right? It's in a very primitive style. We love that. This is the medium for people who like primitive style, right? This is the medium for it. And look at this beautiful hit or miss sky. I mean, is this something? These beautiful clouds, really interesting shapes, different shades of blue, lots of different shades of blue, and then this gorgeous rainbow that's tying the whole thing together. It's a happy picture. It's a cheery picture. It makes you smile. It makes you feel good. It is full of wonder. It is full of charm. It is absolutely beautiful. So you wrote, Deanna, you inspired me to design my first punch needle project. I'm not picking it apart. Tails should be, so this is punch needle. Tails should be higher. Flowers and grass should be better. Sky should be better. I don't agree with any of this. I'm sorry, Kathy, I want to agree with you, but I don't. I think what you've done is fantastic. You know, if you have different ideas for different elements within the composition, use them for the next rug. But this looks great, and I feel that this is exactly the way that it's supposed to be. If the tail is a little bit too big, who cares? This is the tail that this sheep has. You know what's too big? My stomach, my butt, you know, like my arms, everything. Everything's too big. This is absolutely charming, and I love the big tail, and I love the way it looks like one of the flowers. I think it's super, super fun. Yeah, you were saying, you know, what's your opinion about me going forward? And I wrote back and said, you absolutely must. You absolutely must. And you said, thanks for your inspirational words. I'm finishing a stash builder design as I go tabletop or small rug. Great. Could be used either way. Also, I finished a chair mat in a rose that I designed. Fantastic. I love doing my own thing. When I do anything, whether it's sewing, weaving, crocheting, knitting, or spinning yarn, you just love doing your thing. For me, when I do, I use a pattern. I use a pattern or a suggestion. So it seems like with this medium, you're really doing your own thing. You're doing your own patterns. And I'm very, very happy to see that, because the other craft mediums that you mentioned are ones that, you know, you can make up your own pattern, but typically you follow a pattern. This is something where you jumped right in and you're making up your own pattern. I think you're doing great. I think this is so, all the stuff that's going on in the grass too. Do you see the two sheep on the right, and on the left you see like all the little red flowers? I thought at first they were apples, but I think they're flowers on the ground. You see the little white bits of flower in the grass. You see the shape of the hooves or the feet on the sheep. It's all really unique. It's you. It's fun. It's different. It's got flair. It's got character, and it's got charm. You have to keep going. You sent a picture of the rose that you were working on and a little table runner you've got too. You should be super proud of yourself. You're doing beautiful work. Karen, I know you are not on for tonight's episode. I think you're traveling, but I missed putting this into the last show, and I know that it's going to be finished by the time we hit the next gallery night. So Karen wrote and said, Karen Garby, this is absolutely beautiful. This is the piece I'm working on that I started at a Nova Scotia rug hooking school last week. The name, and this message is a little bit older, the name of the class was Animal Crackers, Animal Crackers in My Soup, taught by Pam Bartlett. We got to choose any animal we wanted to hook. This is my cat Felix, who's a 22-pound Maine Coon cat, in amongst some hollyhocks. Ooh, I can see where you're going with that, which are some of my favorite flowers. I'm currently hooking 3 and 4 cuts. I think the flowers in the background will be hooked in a 6 cut. Not sure yet. And then there was an update, right? And this is really funny. It's funny what you wrote. Hang on. I mean, absolutely exquisite, right? And I know she's going to have this done next time. So in the message to me, you wrote, please find attached an updated photo of my cat Felix that I started in Nova Scotia. I apologize in advance if my realistic cat gives you stomach cramps. And then she made a face like this, because she knows me so well. She knows me so well. It's not that I don't like realism. It's not that I don't. I don't do it. I'm not good at it. It's not my favorite avenue, but I love Felix and I love Karen. I love this piece. I mean, I never have anything negative to say about realism. It's just not my particular forte, and it often gives me stomach cramps. But no, this is exquisite. You know, Karen, the thing about Felix and the thing about you, you are, if I were to pick one person, right, just off the top of my head, right, if someone was like, God forbid, I'm not even going to say it, that said like, who is somebody that you can think of right here, right now, that is constantly working in different styles and evolving really quickly in every style? It's you. I mean, when I think about the different kinds of work you've done recently, I just took down your fairy tale, the punch needles, right? They were very different. I'm thinking about your, I don't think I'm supposed to say the word gypsy, so I'm going to say fortune teller with the Waldoboro globe, remember? I mean, Karen keeps choosing projects that like strengthen and lengthen the breadth of your experience and expertise. It's really remarkable because you keep putting yourself in situations where there's a really huge learning curve, and you keep overcoming the learning curve and coming up with these extraordinary pieces. And I'm amazed when I stand back and look at your work. I'm completely amazed. This is an absolutely beautiful piece. No stomach cramps. I love this piece. I'm just going to take a quick sip. Elisa, good to see you. Is there a formula for figuring out how much will you need for a piece? Yeah, there is a formula. The average is, for example, if I were filling in this piece of paper, the average is you need 4 times this amount. But I always go with 5, just to be, because we don't know, and maybe you don't know either, if you're a high hooker or a low hooker. And sometimes I feel I'm a little bit of a high hooker, I'm pretty average, but sometimes I need more like 5 times. So the general rule is 4 times the amount. Some people even say 3, but I would say 4 to 5 times the amount of the surface you need to fill. That's a really, really good gauge. It's different with yarn, right? It's a little bit more of a moving target because different gauges of yarn, different thicknesses, different kinds of finishes, right? Really lofty yarns like the rovings that I was hooking this morning with Juliet. Those would go a lot further, right? And you're not even filling in every hole. So it's really, it's interesting, and it's different with yarn. You really have to do a sample to know. With yarn, my best advice is like, cut a yard or 2 yards. Know that that's what you cut. Same thing with mini punch. Fill in as much as you can and go, oh, I did about a quarter of what I need to do, and see how far you are. And then that's a pretty good gauge. Always give yourself a little bit of extra, particularly if you're buying it at a store, because you can always add it for your scrap pile for hit or miss times later. So yarn is different, but for wool or fabric in general, I would say 4 to 5 times. And let's see, because there might be other opinions here, and I am not always right, I'll tell you. Carolina, wow, that is beautiful. Linda says, wow. Judy says, I just watched a video from the Old Tattered Flag about how much to use for wool. Did they say something similar, Judy? Hope that's okay to share. Absolutely, that's okay to share. No, I am not in competition with anybody. I always feel like we don't need to be in scarcity mode, because the more people who do this craft, right, the more business for them and also the more business for me. So I hope that we talk about it all the time. I hope we talk about places to buy, things to do, people who are helpful, people who inspire us, because it's all pay it forward, I think. Always okay for me. I saw that video too. I missed that video. I'm going to have to look at that. Robin said, Elisa, I'm sorry. Can you fold your wool into quarters? And that'll be how much you need. Yep, that sounds right, Robin. That's what I go for too. Or a little extra if you think you're a high hooker. Or rather, that is the amount that you'll fill. Yep, yes, but I think they did 6. Ooh, 6. Whoa, that is a lot. I hope this doesn't sound awful, but remember they are a store as well. So getting a little bit more is not a bad thing. Stopping. I think it's 4 to. I mean, for me, it's always been 4 to 5, and that's how I've always kitted everything. And more than 9 times out of 10, people will show me how much. If someone writes and says I have this much left over, it's usually quite a bit. But again, it always does. It always does depend on the hooker. Also, whether you're a big packer. If you're packing your loops close together, you're going to go through a lot more material also. So if you do packing and tie hooking, it's going to be a higher number. Let's see, Deborah says, hi, Deanna, I've been on, but my chat wasn't working. Thank you for the wonderful critique. Oh, I'm so glad, Deborah. We were talking about Deborah's Indian corn in this. I'm glad that you're on. I know sometimes technology, right? You don't have to tell me. Preaching to the choir. Sometimes it just does not work, does it? But I'm glad you're there, and I'm glad you heard. So, yeah, I wish that there were absolutely finite answers for stuff, and I never became a good enough knitter to know the answer that in other crafts like knitting, even crocheting. I am a better crocheter. But do you feel in general like there's more finite rules about like, well, I guess there must be, right? Because if you buy a sweater or something, it says this size, you need this much wool, right? With rug hooking, it's a little bit different because there are different variables. We're basically creating a tapestry, and there are different sort of aspects at play. Height, thickness, density, and all of that. Very different. Also, your backing, right? So, but I would say 4 to 5 is a very safe number. 6 is very, very safe. You're definitely going to have extra, undoubtedly. Karen, we will look forward to your next photo and when you're with us next time for gallery night. Now, Danny, you are working on these. I wrote to you too. I didn't hear back from you yet. Danny, man, remember Danny is doing these emoji faces for a friend's classroom. And we've been looking at them as they evolve. And I am really loving them. Again, this is a great example of what to me is the purest kind of rug making, right? Because Danny is always using materials that are already on hand, right? I'm going to pull this open. And working on burlap, right? Finishing the edges with t-shirt material. This is just fantastic. Linda, you just finished the square peg kit and there was so much yarn. That's what I thought. And the thing about the kits, when I'm putting kits together, right? This is like a bit of an indirect plug for my brand. But when I'm putting the kits together, sometimes I know if it's a small kit that I'm giving you way too much material. But there's something in me that will not send out a little dinky bag with like some that looks straggly to me. I just can't. I can't do that to the people who shop from me because I appreciate you honestly so much. I can't send out bags that look like limp and half empty. I can't. So I know sometimes that I am packing too much, and I just know that sooner or later there's going to be this amazing hit or miss inspiration, and that you'll be able to use up all that extra stuff. But I can't send stuff that if I were to open it in the mail, I'd be like, is that all there is? Is that all there is? Was that Patty Page? If that's all there is, my dear. Or is that Doris Day? Then just keep dancing. Remember? What a creepy song that was. Oh, I love that song. Danny. Here are the latest 2 I've done. The dark purple. This is the dark purple one. The dark purple and the yellow one. Oh, you didn't say what the dark purple is. It says the dark purple and yellow one is annoyed. Oh, no. Half the sentence is cut off. This is the dark purple and yellow. I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about backgrounds. The dark purple and yellow one, this one, is annoyed. So this is the emoji that this is communicating. This is annoyed. This character looks annoyed. This is absolutely perfect. The light, okay, so let's look at this one first because we're going to move on to the others in just the other one in just a second. Danny, I love your work, and that's what I wrote to you in an email. I know that you told me before where you are in the world, and I just wondered because I would love to visit with you. I would love to see how you work. This is absolutely old school rug hooking, and I just live for this. So I'm looking at this close up. I know that you cut up stuff that you have. You make stuff work, right? You make stuff work. You work in this old school historic style, and I really admire it. I'm looking at the kind of red and white kind of tie-dye t-shirt that's binding the edge of it. The background yellow looks to me like some kind of netting, some kind of fine netting. Judy, you're right. Peggy Lee. I love that song. So creepy. The background is some kind of mesh, right? It almost looks like the loofah stuff, right? Because it's mesh that you scratch your back with or rub your back with in the shower. That's not derogatory. I absolutely love the texture. It has depth. It looks hazy. It looks completely different than any material that I've seen hooked before. I love it when you do this. I love it when you do this, Danny. There's some satiny kind of maroons in there. Looks like it's patterned. There's a satiny material that could be like a blouse or a necktie, something like that. And yes, Judy, the eyebrows do it. Looks super, super, super annoyed. Absolutely fabulous. I just love this. I honestly love this. I just love seeing work that's and a little bit red, a little bit flushed with anger, right? A little bit of red in the eye too, like the eyes kind of glowing red. Danny, this character looks annoyed. So super, super expressive, right, Pamela? Super expressive. And this is the second one. So this one, you're working on this now. This one is wait a minute, the light purple and green one is Worried. The hair has been the hardest part for me to do, but I'm learning a lot. That's the spirit, right? I just have to put something down, take a photo, and then take it out and try it again when it looks wrong. Frustrating, but educational. Let's talk about that for a second. Well, wait a minute. Okay, so let's continue, and then let's come back to that thought. Danny goes on to say, I've also decided that once I get them in a good enough level, I'm going to finish them. Then when they're all done, I can look at them again and change what I want. It gives me a break from each piece so I don't have to stay frustrated. That's a very, very astute thought. I'd love any suggestions people have for making the facial expressions and hair more clear. Can't wait to see all the cool pieces you've been working on. All right, so let's come to this, and let's give Danny some help with suggestions. Worried is tough. So I am loving the colors on this. I'm loving the hair up in that blue band on top. I'm loving it. I'm going to say, and this is not a negative remark, because you know how I feel about you and your work. I love these colors. But part of the problem with getting the definition in this one is I think with Worried, more than with any other emoji, and this is just, Danny, this is just my opinion. This is just my mouth shooting. I don't really want you to change any of it, but I feel like Worried, when you're worried, you're doing this kind of stuff, and you're getting the lines here, and you're getting the lines here, and maybe you're doing like you could, maybe you're doing something with your mouth. That was weird. But you know, it's mostly like the eyes and the wrinkles here and the wrinkles here, and the eyebrows coming together. I feel like with Worried, there's more lines than usual, right? Even Annoyed. Annoyed's kind of like, you know, it's in the eyes, in the big eyes, and the flush. But Worried is tricky. And it might be with this piece that you're struggling a little bit, just because the face that is this fantastic purple color and the lines that are this very close to purple aubergine color are not different enough from each other, because it seems like you're adding a lot of lines because you know instinctively, because you're such a good artist, all on your own without my mouth, you know instinctively that worry does mean lines. I also think before you change the lines, again, this is just my opinion, when I'm thinking about it, you've got the very big eyes, so make a distinction in your mind between, because the big eyes is like surprised, or like am I worried that I'm parked on the train tracks and the train is coming, Or, because usually when you're worried, at least in my mind, you can be that kind of worried, but you could also be like, ooh, and if you're like this, it's more likely that your eyes are shut than open. So two different things there, in my opinion. In my opinion, for what it's worth, it's not worth anything, Danny, honestly. But something, just things to think about, right? So, do you want the wide open eyes like I'm actively worried? Because that's bordering more on fear or being startled or alarmed or scared. I would either, if you want the eyes, I would think about maybe changing the skin tone or the color of the wrinkles. Not both, right? Because both colors are exquisite, and I like them both in there. I think if it were me, I would change the eyes and make them more like ooh, like this shut, like ooh, than like ah, because I think they're a slightly different emotion. And I think if you shut the eyes a little bit more, the character would start looking more worried. I think that could do it in and of itself. But if you feel like that doesn't do it, you might want to look at the contrast between the wrinkles and the skin tone. I would go to that last because I love the colors that you've chosen. And every one of your color palettes is so unusual and different and thoughtful and colorful. I don't really want you to change the colors. I think it's just a thing with the eyes. It could also be, here's another thought. This is like whammy number 3 coming at you. It could be that the shape of the chin is throwing it a little bit. I would do, and I'm not picking, I love you, I love your work, I'm not picking this apart. I would make the hair a little bit fluffier. I would close the eyes up a little bit more. I would experiment with the eye expression, and I might change the chin, because it might be that you're doing puckery mouth, like, ooh, I'm so worried, my mouth is puckering. But it's making the character look like much older, and with the hair just being a few pieces, while I love the hairstyle, it was reminding me, had a little bit of a Scooby-Doo feel to me. Like not witch doctory, but a little bit. So I would just fluff out the hair. I love the hairstyle. I'd leave it up there. I would fluff it out a little bit. I might just take the face down like this, right? Just more like get rid of, and just do it smoother, like that, more like this, like my face, right? And then experiment with the eyes a little bit. I think you've got 20 minutes of work fooling with the shape of the face and the eyes and just fluffing out the hair before you have a completely different character. Let me catch up on, oh, Lisa, good to see you. April says, Danny, always go for the eyebrows. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, April. Because the eyebrows are the one thing that I want to see going like this. They kind of are. See, I think of worried as, no, maybe not. I think Danny's got it, because when I go like this, they're still, maybe they go down a little bit. Well, I mean, I have been plucking mine for a long time, so they're hardly there anymore. They go down a little bit, and then they come up a little bit on the edge, right? I think this line for most people is going to say worried, right? This is a hard one. You nailed annoyed. It's just tricky. I get what you're saying. I get your thoughts on this. April also said, I was just watching someone the other day that said to use a mirror of your own face to see what kind of emotion you're trying to convey. I thought that was a great idea. I think that's a great idea too. I think you're there. I think there's just a few tweaks. Do not pull the whole thing out. Please don't pull the whole thing out. I really love your colors. If you can preserve the colors of green in the background and the colors of purple, fluff out the hair a little bit so it looks more like a hairstyle. And again, I would just make the eyes smaller, like, ooh, worried, ooh, wincing a little bit, and maybe flesh out the bottom of the face a little bit. I love all of your work. So even if you leave it like this and finish it, I'm still going to love it. I'm still going to love it and marvel over it. But those are just my immediate thoughts. And yeah, I love it. I love this piece. It looks great. Now, one of the things that Juliet said, if you haven't watched the thing yet from this morning, one of the things Juliet said, hold on a second. I'm already feeling so relaxed. See how quickly that panic about the thing shutting off came and went. Juliet said, if you were live this morning, that one of our art teachers said to her once, when you're working on a composition, we've all heard like versions of this, but I thought this was really smart. When you're working on a composition, you have it in front of you, you look at it, you work on it, whether you're painting it, hooking it, whatever, and you close your eyes, and then you come back to it, and you see like what catches your eye next. Like what's the main motif? What catches your eye second? What, close your eyes, give it a minute, right? Reset, open your eyes, look at it fresh, just for that immediate impression. What parts of the composition are not doing anything, right? Are empty, are lacking something, right? Harder with the face. You can't do that exact thing with checking out a face composition, but I like the idea because people usually say, "Oh, hold it really, really far away from you," and yeah, maybe, or take a break from it and come and look at it tomorrow, maybe. But for me, if I take a break from it and I come back and look at it tomorrow or next week or next year, I'm going to go, that damn leaf. That leaf has always been taunting me, and it's still taunting me because I have it in my head that it's the leaf, right? And I'm not going to forget because it's bothered me that much. So it really depends on who you are and the way your mind works and how much control you have over your thoughts, right? But I do like the idea. I think it's way more of a kind of a knee-jerk reaction that you would get if you just closed your eyes on something and opened them and went, yep, almost like, I caught you. That's the thing that caught my eye. I gotcha. Close your eyes again. I'm not going to look at that central thing. Let me try to look somewhere else. And then you look and another thing might grab you. It's just a different way to try to look at your composition with different eyes, right? And see things that are maybe missing or see things that are too prominent. With faces, again, you can't do it with faces, but you can open your eyes and go, yeah, no, the eyes are too big. They're too wide. It looks like she's more surprised than worried. Of course, you can be surprised, right? You could be surprised, you could be surprised and worried at once. But yeah, I'm curious to see what you're going to do with that. And again, you don't have to do anything with it because it's beautiful. But I know you love getting feedback. So those are my thoughts anyway, for what they're worth. Hold on a second. I'm figuring out where we are in the slideshow. Okay, here we are. Yep, let's go. Holy moly, Danny, I love them. I love them. Robin, you sent a beautiful email a while back, and it was before vacation. And I didn't have time to come to it. So here we go. We're going to look at these together. This is, Robin, you went and took a class with Carol, and you both are in Wisconsin, right? You said, hello, hello. Here are some of the pictures from the embroidery class that Carol and I took. I will have to send them in a few emails because they keep coming back. Oh man, do I know that story. You have the emoji, this is a great emoji, of laughing and crying at the same time. That's kind of the story of my life, laughing and crying at the same time. I think that's my favorite emoji. We will be taking a part 2 to the class where we bring a piece of clothing to embroider. So let's look at some of these photos that Robin sent us from the embroidery class. And this is Robin and Carol Palat, who sent us the Cream City photos of the rug show. There's a lot going on in Wisconsin, I'm telling you. So you got set up like this in the class. This looks like fun. Now it looks like you've got a regular needle. It looks like a regular sewing needle. Your scissors, your embroidery hoop, some DMC, what looks like maybe some Valdani, maybe it's something a little bit larger. You've got a printout of different embroidery stitches. So it looks like you're working on muslin backing and you're about to practice doing some of these stitches. Let's see what happens next. Whew! I forgot about this. I love this. I love this. I remember the brand Flax. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But you remember that catalog Flax that used to come out? Flax, Tweed. Was it Tweed or Tweeds? It was like the 90s, wasn't it? The mid-90s. God, those were great brands. And Flax was all linen. Beautiful colors, beautiful loose, comfortable cuts, absolutely gorgeous, high quality, perfect blank canvas to decorate. You really, really, oh my gosh, this looks like so much fun. It is crazy. I love the patch that's added on. It almost looks like the Liberty Tana lawn. All of the blanket stitching around the coat pockets, around the collar. Oh my word, look at all the different stitches on this. The jacket is like a sampler of stitches. Doesn't this seem fun? Another beautiful piece, like a waffle knit cardie, right? Beautiful sky blue color. Look at all of the extra stitches. Now this is interesting because you applied some fabric to it. You applied some very abstract cuts of fabric. Looks like there's a couple of yo-yos on there, like quilting yo-yos. You left a lot of the backing blank. You covered a lot of it. Super, super, super fun. But for me, this piece is so interesting because with that waffle knit, right? It's almost like backing fabric, isn't it? It's almost like you've got a natural grid. If you were going to take a needle and thread to this waffle fabric, you know that it would be like so perfectly measured, right? It would be so fun. Pamela says, love embroidery on clothing. When I was in college, 1970, yes, that long ago, it wasn't that long ago, we embroidered our shirts and bell-bottom jeans. We spent hours in the dorm doing embroidery on our clothing. I think this is so fun. This deserves to have a renaissance now. I love this kind of style when people have embroidered stuff like this. And Kaz did something like this recently. She mounted her Monet piece of rug hooking onto the back of her denim jacket. So she's doing this kind of stuff too. A fellow Wisconsinite. This is another piece I love because this is a beautiful flamingo print, and I love how you added stitching around that one flamingo on the top. I love all the blanket stitch. Right, love it. But oh my gosh, you just picked out like one. Ryan says he loves that story. Upcycle, personalize, that's what, right, Ryan? Customization, absolutely so much fun. Robin says, oh, these are the samples from your teacher. She said she often embroiders patches. Now, Robin, did you take the class yet where you do stuff on your own clothing, or is that a to be continued? These are so fun. It just gives you the idea. You could pick out one element, even if it's a repeat pattern like this, and do something crazy to it. It looks amazing. This is a close-up of that. What a great gallery of touches. So Robin, in the first class, were you working on the hoop and practicing stitches? And these are inspiration pieces from the teacher, and then you're going to go back. Yeah, are these painted, April? That's a good question. And then you're going to go back and do some more stuff like this to your own clothing? See, that would be really smart, wouldn't it? Because once you know what the possibilities are, you could go to your own closet, or you could go to a thrift store and say, oh, you know what? I think I see possibilities here. I absolutely love this idea. And I even love how the flamingo on the right in the middle, just the purple is like just around the throat and the beak and stuff, or the bill, whatever it's called. Absolutely. So much fun. So much fun. This is beautiful too. This is like a little sprinkling, right? This is sprinkles again, right? I just love this. I love applying nice, beautiful, gauzy material, right? Little open blouse, little cardigan type blouse. All these delicate stitches and little crosses. It's like a little story. It's like a little poem dancing across the surface. Really draws your eye in, but it's not gauche. It's not ostentatious. It's just it's beautiful. It's mysterious and beautiful. It's like a little soft song. Yeah, so you're just practicing, and you're going to go back with a vengeance, and you're going to do all kinds of crazy stuff. You got to send us pictures of that too. April says, oh my gosh, I love these ideas. They are so pretty. Cantha stitching. I know I've heard that expression. Why don't I know what that is? I'm going to have to pull that up. And this must be another one of the sort of samplers that the teacher does. This is a great sampler. I'm going to stretch this open in a minute. Can you see on this, well, you can probably see it better than me. Can you see on this piece, if we go like clockwise and start at midnight, you've got the back stitch on top, and then you've got the chain stitch at like 2 o'clock, and then you've got the fly stitch between 5 and 6. And she's telling you cross stitch, couching, all of the different stitches that are part of it. She's feather stitch at the bottom, also known as turkey tracks, right? Lots of interesting stitches on here, and she's using the jacket as the sampler. What a great thing to wear out too. People going, oh, excuse me, do you teach needlepoint and embroidery? I bet nobody's ever said that. They just think it's a piece of art. At first they think it's from Chico's, and they're like, no, it's way better than Chico's. And Chico's is pretty good. But yes, so much fun. So much fun. And it's almost like the front here with the cross stitch, a lot of one stitch, but the layering up of it. Talk about 4th of July coming on. Talk about fun, right? Some atomic shapes. And you know what, I have to stretch this because it's really interesting to me. You see where it says woven kind of on the left nipple? Sorry. That's just what popped out of my mouth. But you see where it says woven there? It almost looks like you're doing a hula hoop wagon wheel type weaving. It looks like she stitched the kind of spokes, right, the long stitches, and then I bet she took a needle and kind of wove over, under, to fill in like weaving on the surface, the center circle of that little motif that says woven wheel. I guess that's what she must have done. It's so cool. The freehand quality to it. the playful quality to it. I like how there's not this massive push to have everything be measured and equal, because if it were, it would not be fun at all, would it? Oh, Cindy, great to see you. Great to see you. And Pamela says it's a unique and artistic, fabulous jacket. It is. I love the pearl buttons too. It looks anything but Western though, doesn't it? It's just so artsy. Wouldn't you love to have something like that to wear to like a fall festival, right? To walking around the different stalls, right? Checking out everybody's glass and fiber and be wearing a jacket like that. Wouldn't that be something? God, that would feel so good, wouldn't it? I might try to do something like that before the fall. I'm such a copycat. This is beautiful as well. You see wool, right, being used. And again, lots of different colors. These are just straight stitches, right? This is not complicated. There's just lots of them. Combination of color, combination of material, solid versus printed wovens, patterned wovens. Really interesting. Veronica, it is so neat. Perfect for the 4th. Yeah, you could go full blast like electric, couldn't you? And this is the other side. Is this like a cozy for a drink? It looks like a cup holder. So pretty. And talk about being a magpie and using up your scraps. Right? What a great use of scraps. I mean, really, you could do this as like a neck thing, like a cowl that goes around. It could maybe close with like hooks or Velcro or something. You could do this as a cuff, like a bracelet. You could do this as jewelry. You could do this kind of thing as patches on something. You could do it as the whole back panel of your jean jacket. I got distracted because I love this too. I love this kind of red and white ticking inside the knee, and then right around the knee they're holding it together. This is not an example of trying to make a sort of innocuous looking patch. This is like, look at this patch. This is a feature. Oh, it's a little pouch. Very pretty, Robin. Very pretty. And all the different lengths of stitch on this too. I really like the idea of making this into a feature. And it looks like the other leg doesn't have a hole, but there are still 2 patches, right, for continuity, for balance of color. It's really, really pretty. So when people think that, you know, you fell down the stairs, God forbid, or tripped or whatever, or maybe your knees just got worn out, you know why I said that? I'm such an idiot, because I was just having a flashback to years ago when I was in Catholic school and they took us to see the Nutcracker, and the nuns were nowhere near. I mean, I don't know how old I was. I must have been Jocelyn's age. I had jeans on. They're quite tight. They were snug, and I was a total turkey, and I was showing off for my friends, and I jumped down like a half flight of stairs. It wasn't bad, Mom. It wasn't bad. But it was maybe like 6 steps. And I thought I'd land on my feet like a cat. And I landed on my hands and knees. My pants ripped on the butt and on the knee. And the nuns were so angry because we were at the theater, right? Now when I hear toot, toodle-doo-doo, it gives me stomach cramps. Makes me real nervous. Can see Sister Colette's face. But had I but known that you could take your jeans and do something cool like this, that would have really appealed to me, right? So however you've abused your clothing by accident or from being well used, there's so many ways that you can fancy it up. And Robin, send us pictures. When is the class coming that you're going to work on some of your own pieces? I can't wait. I wish I could come. God, that's going to be fun. Now, Candace, you sent this beautiful rug. This is a great piece for us to look at. You wrote, good afternoon. I finally finished my oval rug. It is 30 by 60. It's called Ritger, R-I-T-G-E-R, oval. I used number 7 for the background and the scrolls, number 5 for the flowers and leaves. It took a little over 200 hours, probably because I kept changing my mind. Yeah, but you know what? It's just the way it is, isn't it? And you owe it to yourself to change your mind if you're not completely happy with what you got going. This is a beautiful piece. I remember when you started this, I remember saying, this is like a classic mid-century piece, right? This piece had potential to be like a lot of other mid-century pieces, but it's not. You handled this in a much more graphic way. It's very unique. Your coloring is very unique. The very light leaves, very striking and unexpected. Really, 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 I love that. I love that black background. I love how you have outlined the border in yellow. Really unexpected. It has that glow. It has that good, like, proper color flower palette, but the way that you've used the colors is very unexpected. And the way that you have done, instead of a lot of shading, which is what I would expect to see, you've done a lot of graphic shading. And that is an apples and oranges, horse of a different color, truly. So you have taken a pattern that is a really historic and lovely pattern, and you have done it in a very unexpected way. I love the way that you've handled this. I love looking at the breakdown of color. I love the way that you've done the outlining, right? It's giving me a different appreciation for these kinds of patterns because, you know, even nowadays, the market is absolutely saturated. This is what was really popular, this type of design in the late 40s, 50s, 60s, right, even 70s. And certainly, again, having a renaissance in the 80s. So we do see a lot of this, and it's so much fun to find an example of a pattern like this that has been done in someone's unique style. That's what I really love. I do love Proma Gown. Of course I do. And I do love the shading. I love all the exquisite work and tricks that you can do. But I also love the artistic value and merit that's involved when you look at someone's work, when they have taken a pattern that you fully expect to be 100% traditional, and they do it in a slightly different way. It really rings and resonates for me. It's very different. It's very striking. The color of the green scroll going from dark to light is very exciting. I really, really like it. It makes me feel, it doesn't have for me any sort of resemblance to a mid-century rug, like I've seen this pattern before many times. It's just handled in a more deco way because of the way that you've done the graphic shading as opposed to the realistic shading. I'm not making a statement or a commentary on realistic versus graphic. I'm just saying, for me, style-wise, having gone to school for graphic arts a few times, right? I'm very interested in graphics, and I'm always interested. It's not as easy as it looks, right? Because some people, I think, would say, well, you know, doing the shading is a lot more, in terms of difficulty, it's a lot more complex than this. I would have to disagree. Figuring out your darks and lights when you're using fewer colors, I would argue, is just as difficult. It has a different graphic impact. It's not better or worse. It's not stronger or weaker. It's a completely different style. And when you are a creative person, a rug maker, whatever your medium is, when you figure out what your style is and how to move toward it, you are in the place that you should be, are meant to be, were born to be, and must be, right? So you should always do patterns exactly the way that you want. And when you do, they feel inspired, right? They feel inspired. And I can feel that great energy with this piece, Candace. It's just gorgeous. And I think I have a close-up of this too. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. I just love it. I just love it. Kay says it does have a bit of a graphics art feel. Maybe that's why it works so well. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just in the handling of it, pulling out the shapes, pulling out the lines. It's a lot of fun. It's an adventure. It really is. It's an adventure piece. I love it, Candace. It's just gorgeous. Okay. Wait a minute. That wasn't an okay. That was an oh. No, this is Kathleen. Hold on just a second. Kathleen. Oh, Kathleen. Now, Kathleen, I love this. Now, this is what we did for the second or third hook along that we did on the Ribbon Candy Hooking channel. Our next one is going to be a punch project. And I'll bring that to you over the weekend, I promise. Kathleen, this is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. So this is Black Sheep, right? We did this pattern together. There's one more example of it in tonight's show, and I have to say, both people who have, and Kathleen, you're one of them, have examples of Black Sheep in the show tonight, did a much better job than I did. I am really, really impressed. I absolutely love this. The way that you broke down the background, you took out the text, that is great. That is great. It looks much more calm and peaceful. The emphasis is really on the sheep. It looks more like a clamshell this way, like the border. I just love your colors. You wrote, I did your pattern a little different. I'll be putting it on a footstool I recently bought at an auction. Fun pattern to do. I used woolen yarn for it. When I watched the hook along, Deanna said she really wanted to hook a black sheep, and I did too. This is so beautiful. You know, nothing pleases me more than when I put out a pattern and I see that you all have done it in different ways, because that says to me you liked the pattern, so a part of me is in it. That makes me feel warm and excited and happy and proud and pleased. But you did it in a way that was right for you, and that is exactly where I want you to be. That's exactly where, because it's not about me. Right? It's not about me at all. And this is perfect for the footstool. This is beautiful. And when I look at this, it's not even the same pattern. It's so good. It's not something that I would have done. It's so good. It's so much better than mine. Kathleen, I just love this. I hope you show it to us when you've got it on the footstool. I'm anxious to see that little footstool you got at the auction. This is absolutely beautiful. Just beautiful. Ryan, I had to. You know me, I'm always sneaking around looking at your pictures. Ryan, got the back. Okay, so I'm going to show you a different one in just a minute. Right, I'm going to show you the sun. But Ryan, you posted this, and is it this weekend that the fair is coming up? You're practicing putting up your setup because you're going to be selling some of these gorgeous rugs. I think we've looked at most, if not all of these. I think most of these in Gallery Night episodes. Absolutely amazing. Amazing work. So this is Ryan Richards. This is your rug tufting, right? Like not rug tufting, the what is it called, Ryan? What's the brand called? It's Tomorrow. Best of luck, Ryan. What is it called? Ryan, what's it called? The brand that does all the burlap patterns that you collect. You have that huge collection, and you take them out, and once in a blue moon they split, right? Because it's an old backing, but not often. Not often. They are remarkably, and when they do, you fix them. And I know that's always a bummer, but you always do such a stellar job. I mean, these are such fine pieces. You have to know how. You have to let us know how it goes. Best of luck. Everybody's going to really appreciate this. Rug crafters and speed tufting. Thank you. I was crossing the two. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Good luck. To be continued. Let us know how. Will you have mixed feelings if like everything sells? Will you be like a bit like chagrin-y kind of a feeling, like, oh, I'm very happy that other people appreciated my work, but now I'm sad it's gone kind of thing? You work so fast. This is the piece that you just finished. You said got the back all cleaned up and a best guess made for the loop height. Okay. I'm looking at this as I go. I see you just have the side to do there. Now to do the color matching the sour yellow, tangerine, black, and maybe yellow orange. The cardinal red looks good. Yeah, it certainly does. This is just a beautiful piece. So Ryan, did you run out? I made a heap. You made a heap just to be able to sell them and stuff. Well, you know, that makes me happy because I don't want you to have mixed feelings about it at all. But it's a great thing to share. It's a great thing to show. And most people, by a landslide, are not going to do this, are they? I mean, it's a lot, and you have got it like completely figured out now. But it's a lot for the average person to walk into it and go, I like the pattern, and maybe I'll make it myself. No, you won't, right? So they might as well buy one of yours. So that's great because you're sharing it with them too, and then people are able to come and choose the thing that they like the most and enjoy it forever. So it's great that you feel like that, and it's great that I bet they're all going to fly. Now this is the front of it, and you filled in. Okay, I see on the far right you filled in that yellow, the sour yellow. I really can't tell. So you wrote, son, the new yarn is pretty obvious. Maybe I can rub some dirt into it when I'm done. You know, the only reason I looked for it is because the gap was there on the back, and I just looked to the other side. It's really not that obvious for me. And Ryan LeBeau says, the sun's so beautiful, one of my faves, very mosaic Byzantine. It does have a really Byzantine feel to it. Has a very 1960s feel to it. It reminds me of the artist Evelyn Ackerman. Really, really beautiful, very exaggerated, very 1960s, definitely Byzantine, but also very 1960s feel to it. Really beautiful. Love this piece. And you wrote, there's probably a little bit of work to fix the blowout. Okay, so this one had a blowout. Latex and drilling new holes, but it's not bad otherwise. Well, I'll say, I mean, I love this piece. I would buy this piece. I love this piece. I really love this piece. Ryan, if you sell this piece, will you let me know? Because I really like this piece. I really like this piece. Absolutely beautiful. And it would not be a show without looking at your work. So, Alvin Stark, right? New person on the Facebook group, posted these two projects, first two projects, and I fell in love. So, Alvin wrote, took a minute, but I figured out my process, and I've completed my first two projects. After I reworked parts of both more than 6 times, I was able to get it to my satisfaction. And then the face that's laughing and crying. For now, I am back to the small latch hook, and I'll work my way back to rug hooking. So normally you do latch, and you took a break to do some hooking. And I'm going to tell you what, You did a great job. These are great. These are hooked with wool. You've done kind of a chain stitch around the edge as a border. It comes in and out. You see how the black and kind of coral kind of dips under and comes back into the composition at the bottom. It's an uneven bottom, right? It's a shaped bottom border. Really interesting. It's a beautiful piece. I would frame it with a little bit of the burlap showing. I love this piece. You could, I mean, I was going to say you could also fill in the background, but I don't think I would. I think you're there. I think you're there just the way you are. This is an absolutely beautiful piece. You know, stylistically, this has got a great shape. You've got a great breakdown of color. You've got a great variety of color. You've got your brightest sort of poison, right? For me, the poison is that corally pink color on the border. You have that right out in the edge. The composition is perfectly centered. You have some great color blocking in the bottom that's kind of denoting rocks or whatever's underneath the fish. It's a really beautiful, simple composition, but it's filled with color, it's filled with energy, it's filled with life. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. Beautiful. And this is the other piece. So this is a llama, another beautiful piece, right? You are doing really well. I can see that you like a high pile, at least with this piece. So that might be your latch hook background coming to you, but it doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that what I'm seeing here is you are doing a very high pile combo of loops that are more at a high pile that we would associate more with like a latch or a Rhea rug. I think that's really interesting because you're kind of crossing, you're doing a bit of a hybrid here with this piece. The fish was more traditional. This piece is different. I love the fish. I also love this piece. Your compositions are really interesting. You've got very strong, the llama face, right? He's got that sort of chest, face down, that stripe, that vertical stripe down. The chest is very light, and otherwise he's quite dark. So you've got real dramatic vertical pull in the center, but you've got this prominent horizontal pull with that green grass hitting right across underneath, right through the center, giving a good horizontal thrust that really counters the vertical feel of the long neck with the two colors, right? The striping makes it extra emphasis on that animal. It's a beautiful piece. And then in the cloud, you've got some round, in the sky, you've got some round shapes. Clouds and mountains are more round, right? Kind of mimicking the shape of the face. So you have got some good tension working with horizontals versus verticals. And then you've got the softness and the balance of the clouds in the background. Only two colors, one color blue sky, and yet this piece looks very colorful. It is really lovely. It is really, really lovely. Really good. And you know, it is so important to go, you know, if you feel like doing latch, you should do latch. If you feel like doing hooking, you should do it. If you feel like doing nothing, you should do nothing. If you feel like watching, shopping, hoarding, eating, whatever, you should do it, right? You should do it. You should try to please yourself, because I mean, my philosophy has always been, if your head is not in something, it's not going to come out well. It's not going to come out well. Unless you really have incredible willpower, you really have to honor how you feel about what you're doing. And if you feel like it, your chance of being successful at it is like beyond multiplied, right? It's not like doubled, it's like multiplied many times over. So you should always do what you feel like, and you come back to it when you feel like it. Whether it's soon or not, doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. As long as you're doing something that you love. Sue's, great to see you. Hello in Kansas. We will take you anytime. Now, this is a beauty too. This is Kathy Rush Pastori. And this is a beautiful piece that I found in our Facebook group. So this is called Keeper of the Bees, and this is a pattern by Lori Brecklin, one of my favorite artists, Spruce Ridge Studio. Absolutely beautiful. And you see like the they called apiaries, the beehives at the bottom, the three of them. This is a very really endearing primitive composition. I love the character of the older woman. I love the cat, very primitive. I love the vessel in her hand. I love the flowers. I love the beehives. I love the movement of the grass. It is really unusual. It's simple. It's lovely. It's got two different stories going on. We've got like above and below the ground line. I love the clever primitive trick of Laura. I mean, Lori's such a pro. She's so talented. I love the trick of using the surface of the grass as to break it into two pictures, right? So you're getting like the AG above ground versus the BG below ground, and they really are two different stories. They're two different sections. They are one scene, But it's interesting how you can split something that way. That is a great primitive trick. It's just an absolutely beautiful piece. And this is the same piece. Let me see, was that worked more or less? No, this is worked a little bit more. So filling in the background a little bit, just absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's a gorgeous piece. I just really fell in love with it when I saw it. I love primitive stuff, you know, and this just really, really spoke to me. The color changing that's happening, it just glows, doesn't it? Character and profile. Oh, I love these colors too, Robin. This is just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. So let me keep on going here. Oh, we saw that. Let's see. Mandy. Oh, Mandy Cornish, you do such tremendous work. So Mandy sent these pictures yesterday. This is one of the Alice Butlers, right? So this is in ribbon candy hooking. This is one of the patterns. It's called Chattering Birds. This pattern is for sale. I have it right on the wall next to me, actually, the one that I used to make the patterns. Mandy, you did a great job with this. This is just absolutely beautiful. Again, this is an Alice Butler design, right? So I carry the line of Alice Butler designs. I'm the only person who has them. I'm very proud to have chased them and to be so friendly with the family. Yeah, Cat's Gallery, exactly. Absolutely. You know, you're right, Andrea. The Keeper of the Bees could absolutely be a pub sign. And you would know, right? You would know. I don't mean you're in a pub a lot. I mean that you're in Britain and the pub and your designs, and yeah, you know what I mean. This is absolutely beautiful. I love the breakdown of colors. Very different than what the Butlers did. Theirs was much more like pink, different off-whites, yellow. Didn't have blue as far as I remember. It didn't have the gray, but didn't have the blue. Very brutalist shapes with the Butlers, right? Vic Hugo designing for his mom, Alice Butler, who's the maker. Many episodes on the Butlers. Absolutely love them. Beautiful piece. And this beautiful piece that I used for the thumbnail, this is a piece called Moude Maiden, and it's spelled M-U-I-D-E-N. Moude is a Dutch town that I went to where I found a little statue that looks nothing like this character, except that she has like a scarf on the side of her head. But I bought it and I loved it, and I did a still life with it. And the finished piece, maybe you saw in the rug show that I just, you know what, maybe I have it. Maybe I have it. Am I going to be lucky in the same bag twice? Doubt it. Hold on, let me see. I know we're at the end of the episode, so I shouldn't be fooling around over here. No, it's in another bag. I'm not going to be lucky twice. Whoa. Whoa, nothing happened. Nothing happened. There we go. Moude Maiden. So Mandy's working on this now, and I think, oh, what did you say, Mandy? What did you say? I have, okay, I finished Alice Butler's Chattering Birds, and now I'm working my way through Moude Maiden, which is actually going to be a wedding present for my niece, who looks like the woman depicted. That's it. Absolutely adorable. And you've got like this side ponytail thing going on. You see there's actually like a pearl earring happening, right? Really cute. And a cat's face embedded. The heart is embedded in this pattern, but the cat's face is an addition. I think that's brilliant. And the heart down at the bottom where you put your initials, brilliant. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Just beautiful. I can't wait to see this finished, and I know you'll show me. And I like how you broke down. I broke down the neck tone in a weird way. You carried it over a little bit softer. Yours looks much better than mine. It's just a beautiful piece. And, oh, I love the texture on the flowers, right, on the yoke of her shirt there. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, so good. So good. I love it. And that was the thumbnail for tonight. This is another piece that I thought was just extraordinary. Wendy Hybrider Wilson. Sorry if I pronounced your maiden name. Fancy Feather. My design based on a wool applique design I have. This one measures 32 by 19. That's large. It's a little misshapen. I'm not seeing that. Maybe steaming will help. I'm still learning. Punched with an Oxford number 9 and number 8 wool strips. Well, Wendy, I had to pull this because I had to pull this for the show because I love it so much. This is an extraordinary piece, and I love your initial of the W there. This is an extraordinary piece. When I saw this, I just thought there's a lot of things happening here. It's a very simple design, but all of the different colors, right? It becomes a very unusual hit or miss pattern, doesn't it? Because yes, you've got kind of an antique black background. That has to be stable. to enable you to use all these colors in the feather itself. But sometimes when we think about using a hit or miss background, we think, oh, I'm going to make like a geometric, or I'm going to do this or that, something I've seen before. A hit or miss pattern can be anything where you can pop in all different colors into one pattern, and it holds, and it's stable, and it works, right? This is that. So this is one of the most unusual hit or miss opportunities I've ever seen. I thought it was just amazingly smart and simple. And simple is hard. We know that, right? Simple is hard. And the kind of little bit of stitching that look like little needle stitches, talking about the embroidery, right? Right around the edge with all the colors in there. The fact that some of the colors, right, are patterned. The fact that some of the colors have run out, or you've moved to a different color that's a similar color, if not tonal value, makes it look like a very old-fashioned rug. It's super, super charming. I don't feel like it's misshapen. I don't feel like it's misshapen at all. You will be able to stretch it, steam it, block it, and alter it a little bit. I think you're absolutely fine. I think it's an exquisite piece. It's very unusual. It really gives us something to think about and talk about. Just another layer of interest, right? What can I do? How can I break down a single motif like a feather and make it this interesting? Well, it's hard. It's hard, but this was an absolute winner, Wendy. Absolutely beautiful. You can hear those chattering birds, Mom, huh? Oh, I wanted to show you what I'm working on. I know you know that I'm working on this. I just wanted to remind you, this is coming up. This is now online. This is Split Bloom Garden. This is a design that I drew right onto the backing. Did I give you a picture of that too? I drew it right on my backing. Yep, with a purple Sharpie. Right onto weaver's cloth. This is mini punch, and I just filled it in with a color plan that I liked, and fun, just fun and fast. And I got it right here, and I know a lot of people are waiting for a mini punch class, so this is coming up. This is now on in the description of this video. All the things we're talking about tonight are in the description of this video. The class is up there. It comes as a kit or it comes as a class. And I'm going to be putting the kits together tomorrow. All of the colors, there's 22 colors in there. And I just wanted to show you, this is the embroidery hoop that I'm talking about. So you're going to get an 11-inch hoop like this, right? It's a quite good hoop. It's a quite fancy hoop, and it's a good large hoop, the rectangular hoop, right? So the kit comes with that, and it comes with, I've got, and I'm gonna make this all pretty tomorrow, these coil key rings. They're like cable key rings that unscrew, and on your key ring, it's going to be 22 of these reusable plastic color bobbin or spools, right? And I'm going to wind the right amount of the 22 colors onto the colored spools, and they're going to arrive with your pattern on weaver's cloth, transferred onto weaver's cloth, Split Bloom Garden, and all your colors are going to be on one or two of these. And you're going to have, I'm going to put in this kit, also the rectangular frame, I'm going to put in this kit, I punch this with my Pretty Punch. Now Pretty Punches are finite, right? There's only X amount of them. I have a bunch of them. But when they're gone, right? So in the future, I'll probably be stocking a Susan Bates version of Punch. It doesn't mean it's worse. It's just I have a bunch of Pretty Punch. I love Pretty Punch. I've been talking about Pretty Punch. So for those of you who are going to take this online class with me, you're going to get all the things I just showed you, but you're also getting a Pretty Punch and 2 threaders for the Pretty Punch. So you have no problems getting, and threaders you can buy. They're all interchangeable, but you'll get 2 threaders with it. So you'll be ready to go. It's a lot of supplies. It's a chance to get a unique and old Pretty Punch, because in a few years, if I keep talking about them, there's not going to be any more out there. So it's going to be a great project, and that is in the description of this video. So we could do that together very soon. I forget when I put that down. Wednesday, I think the 3rd week of July. Marilyn, you sent this beautiful piece, or maybe I pulled this offline. I can't remember, but I saw this and I thought, how did I miss this? I was on vacation. That's how I missed it. You wrote, just finished, polar bear with northern lights. You see that in the sky? You see the felting, the needle felting done on top of the hooking? And that looks like sparkle yarn to me. Does that look like sparkle for you? I know, wait a minute, let me read this. 30 by 21, hooked and needle felted. It doesn't show up in the photo, but the snow and icebergs have sparkle yarn. It feels like the sky is sparkly, but I feel like I can see a little bit of a sheen to the snow and icebergs. And how do you get sparkle yarn? You either buy yarn with a sparkle, or like Juliet said this morning, you mix in Angelina or Selena or one of these little metallic fabrics. You just put a strand of it with your yarn while you're hooking or punching, and you're going to get metallic. It's absolutely a stunning piece. I'm going to run a little bit over, just so you know. I'll probably be about 5 or 10 minutes over tonight. Sorry about that. Absolutely stunning piece. Marilyn, this is tremendous. The needle felting, you know, I have only ever seen this Northern Lights thing in Hallmark movies. One of these days, I'm going to have to actually see this, because if it looks anything like this, this is like a mind blower. So beautiful. So beautiful. Patricia Neems posted this in our Facebook group. This, you just wrote, my mask. I went nuts when I saw stomach cramps. I went nuts when I saw this. I thought this was so beautiful. This looks punched, and Patricia, I think, has kept the working side as the finished side. Just gorgeous, right? Beautiful mask. Looks a little bit like a person, looks a little bit like an animal with ears or horns, right? This very, very lofty roving, hooked into big balloony loops as hair. Very unnatural colors, which make it spectacular. The eyes look to be cut out. Super, super fun. I wrote to her, I didn't hear back yet. I wrote to her, Patricia, are you doing more masks? Because I feel I need more masks in my life. And you know what I love about this mask? A little bit of a Chagall feel, only because of the lines, and it's definitely not Chagall. It has something between a Chagall and a Matisse. These dark lines and tiny little eyes, right? Very simplistic, real economy of line. Very few lines, masterfully done. Great breakdown and break up of color. A little bit of expression with the tip of that mouth and these very small eyes. It's very expressive. They're almost like animal eyes because they're so small, right? Human eyes are a little bit bigger. So that's confusing, interesting, and magical. A little bit of a Narnia feel for me with this piece. You love the direction of the punching, Pamela. I do too. And this is a great example of using the working side, because it is, I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? It's incredible. Ariadna. I love the name Ariadna, so beautiful. Ariadna Ferret, that's a great name. Posted this in our Facebook group. What are men to rocks and mountains? Do you know where that quote comes from? I know where that quote comes from, and I'll tell you in just a second. I thought this is a beautiful piece. And I'm not sure, because it didn't say what it was made onto. It looks like it's possibly punched onto a woven, because it doesn't look like any of our traditional rug hooking backings. I think that Ariadna is in Europe somewhere, and it is figuring out how to make this craft work with different materials, and I think that is spectacular. This is actually a Jane Austen quote from Pride and Prejudice, and the entire quote says, "What are men to rocks and mountains? Oh, what hours of transport we shall spend! And when we do return, it shall not be like other travelers, without being able to give one accurate idea of anything. We will know where we have gone, we will recollect what we have seen. Lakes, mountains, and rivers shall not be jumbled together in our imaginations." I think that's just a beautiful passage, Volume 2, Chapter 4. Absolutely beautiful. I thought this was one of your favorite books, Pamela. This is one of my favorites too. I'm getting back into Jane Austen after many years, I have to say. Absolutely beautiful. This is just the same image but in slightly different light, so I wanted to put both in. Absolutely beautiful. I'm kind of whipping through. Now, Karen came to visit me yesterday and to pick out some colors, and we had a ball. You took a class with me at Madison Wool a year or two ago. It was the sugar skulls, and you filled out the edges of your sugar skull and turned it into a pillow. It is just gorgeous. It is just gorgeous. I love this. I love all of the sugar skulls I see. This has a bit of that Mexican mola, Day of the Dead, very colorful heart eyes, eyelashes. I can see everything that you did. It's all fun. It's colorful. It's got feeling, right? It's got pizzazz. It's a really fun piece. I absolutely love it. You sent me these pieces after you left, and I asked you to, and I appreciate the fact that you remembered. I said, why don't you send us some stuff for gallery night, right? Because you're new to hooking, you're having a ball. I really wanted to see what you've worked on thus far. You worked on a couple of pieces like this one on your own that you designed. You designed the placement of the hearts on the computer, because Karen's very good at computers. Yep, I'm going to be on for just a few more minutes. Sorry I'm a little bit late, but lots of drama tonight, right, with the plug and everything. You designed this because I said, did you draw this right on the backing? And you said, no, I like things to be just so I really wanted to do it on the computer and have everything just in the right spot. And then you hooked it like this with yarn, and it's absolutely beautiful. Another pillow, gorgeous, and a close-up. So you are doing beautiful work, and I saw 2 of your pieces in person. Really beautiful work, really beautiful. Oops, wait a minute, did I miss one? Nope, I didn't, that was it. So soon I'm sure Karen's going to show us the next project, because she's working on it right now. It's a beautiful project with a bird. She did a beautiful monochromatic blue rabbit as well. Karen, it was great having you. Can't wait to see you again. Now, over here I am with Kelly Smith. I had to pull something of Kelly's because I love Kelly's brand. It's kellysmithdesigns.com. I love it when she posts. She's a great friend. She's a great person. I love her work. I always want to talk about it. So I wanted to show you this because on Monday for Madcap Monday on our rug hooking page, which is Facebook page, Rug Hooking and Punch Needle Club, you wrote, "Happy Monday. I'm starting a new series of starting with teapots. And this is so easy to customize." That's absolutely true. So you had a sale going on Monday, but these are always available in your collection at kellysmithdesigns.com. I had a few other images, right? So this is the one that you did color, but you're absolutely right, Kelly. These are easy to customize. What a lot of fun for people to play with. What a great composition. I have not seen you do a still life before, and I thought this was brilliant. This is your transfer technique with a light box, right? So what we were saying earlier about transferring, you have to do it, Pam, you have to do it however it works for you. We all do it in different ways. Even those of us who have companies are doing it in different ways. This piece is by Vera Monica Rodriguez, I'm sorry, Camara. Let me just take a quick sip. I'm speeding up because I feel like we're late and I feel guilty. Vera says, hold on one second. Jay, is there any water out there? Yeah, I can't do any more stout. Did I just say that? So Vera posted this, and this is a freeform piece that she's punching. I think this is absolutely exquisite. She draw it, she's figuring out the colors as she goes along, and she wrote, "Clearly no Picasso." I beg to differ. I'm very glad that it's not a Picasso. He's not one of my all-time faves. I think this has great color, unusual color, great movement. If Swatch Watch, thank you, saw this, they would want this for one of the faces of their watches, right? This is absolutely beautiful. If Duran Duran, who I believe is on tour, saw this, they'd want this for the cover. I'm not saying it's dated and super 80s. I'm saying it has flair, it has style, right? And that was a very successful era of design, so nothing wrong with that. Sorry, I was so thirsty. I'm just choking down some water. I just love this piece, Vera. I thought it was beautiful. Nancy Cresson LaRoche. Another piece that I missed while I was on vacation. I thought this was extraordinary. I wanted to include it. And Nancy wrote, "I love carrots, so just felt the need to make them in a rug. Plus, I had to find a way to incorporate all these beautiful green and orange wools together." Well, talk about success, right? Holy mackerel. Absolutely beautiful, simple composition, right? We've been talking about a lot of simple compositions today. What do you do when you have all these colors and you like them together? You put them on the table around you, but you go, now I have a lot of orange, I'm not going to be able to use it all. And I have all these greens, how can I plug them all in? And you start thinking, should I add scallops? Should I add lamb's tongues? Maybe this is me. Should I add trees? Should I make it bigger so I can incorporate all these colors? No, hit or miss background. Drop in a hit or miss background. Why shouldn't you? What a clever use of the colors that you wanted to use, but you really couldn't figure out how to get them into this composition. The composition remains exactly the way that you wanted it to be, and you have figured out how to weasel in all of those colors that you wanted to be in this piece. You win, you win. You win both ways. It's really smart. It's super, super smart. It's a great piece. And it just reminds me that when you do this kind of directional hooking, right, very strong vertical with the carrots, very strong horizontal with all of the striping, right? Beautiful background. It almost has a below ground, above ground feel to it too, doesn't it? Right? It almost suggests very literally the earth and the sky, or the sunset in the sky. Absolutely beautiful. Another great solution, great idea for hit or miss, right? Melissa, you sent some beauties. Hi, Deanna, just sending along a few rugs for gallery night. Marilyn is the first one. It's a Dion Fitzpatrick pattern. I used a lot of thick luxury yarns for this one. I also gave her a pierced lip, if you look closely. Oh my gosh, did you? How funny is it? You gave her glasses, right? Those are glasses. Marilyn, you are all dolled up or dogged up. This is such a sweet piece. I have to stretch it open a little bit. I'm looking at the blues on the sides. They almost look like the raffia. Is that maybe the raffia stuff? Gosh, that's interesting, all these different fibers. Oh, I see velvet. I see velvet. I can't see the pierced lip. I have to look at it even closer. I know it's there. Oh, the eyes are little beads. God, Melissa, you are so good. You are so good. You work like so quickly, and you are so clever. This is such a beautiful, beautiful piece in that great Canadian/British school. Another beautiful piece. The second one is a little lab puppy. No, I got this wrong. I got this wrong. So that was not Marilyn. This is the little lab puppy. Okay, so there is no pierced lip. I'm sorry, I had them in the wrong order. Little lab puppy complete with specs and a knitted bow tie. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. All right, this must be the lab puppy, right? Also use doll's eyes, right? The buttons are the doll's eyes. Very good. Okay, that makes sense. Sorry about that. Hang on. Okay, so the third one is called Mary in the Morning because I always saw, nope, this isn't it. Melissa, why don't I have this one? What am I doing here? You know, this could be, I don't know, could this be Marilyn? Let me just race ahead and check. Because I know this is Marilyn. Okay, this is Marilyn because I immediately saw the pierced lip. This is such an amazing piece. This deco feeling body, this Vogue feeling, languid feel of the body, the soft pastel colors, the color changing background, in this super, super, super crazy, ornate, super glammy, blingy frame, right? This is like Paris apartment style. This is fantastic. It's so ornate and classy and old schooly, and then the pierced lip, unexpected, super unexpected. Ryan Richards says Pride and Prejudice was rough. So many characters. That is the thing, isn't it? It has like the soap opera mentality. That's so funny. It is hard to keep track, isn't it? So funny. Marilyn is gorgeous. I love your frame. Frames are insanely expensive, by the way. You probably know this, right? When you find a frame that is absolutely beautiful and speaks to you, and it's economical, right? Grab it, because you're going to find that there is some hooked piece at one point, like Marilyn, that you want to put in it. You're going to be so happy that you have it, and that you can custom do a piece to go into a fantastic statement frame like this. I just want to be sure. Now this is. Oh, okay, I see. So this one is Mary in the Morning, because I always saw these two buildings on my way to work. And what song was playing? Why, Mary in the Morning by Elvis Presley. I don't know that song, I'm ashamed to say. I don't know that song, but I love this piece. I love this piece. It has a little bit of the Maud Lewis feel to it. Not composition-wise as much as the white, right, and the yellow in the grass. The unusual colors, how she always used her marine paints, right? She hardly ever had the right color for the right thing, and she made it work, right? And I love that mixing and matching of colors. What a beautiful piece. This is a super Canada piece, right? This really looks Canadian to me. Now, I'm going to go back with this, Melissa. Not this one, but this one. And this is the last one. This is finally Black Cows on the Marsh, a typical scene I see most days. So glad to have you back. So glad to be back, and so glad to be back with you. Beautiful pieces. These are all beautiful pieces. Because I screwed that up, let's just look one more time. So we've got the black lab pup with the specs. Such a sweetheart. We've got the Black Cows in the Morning. Great composition. Multiples, too, right? It's like a mirror image. Great movement. Lots of texture. Love this school of hooking. Marilyn in this gorgeous frame. I love how light, right, it is, and then this blingy frame. And the way the metal ring in her lip really matches the golden frame. So beautiful. And Mary in the Morning. I'm going to have to listen to that. Mary in the Morning. Yep. Going to have to listen to that so I know we're on the same page. Absolutely beautiful. Melissa, I love you. I love your work. You do so much great work. It's amazing. Here is the other one. Ruth, you country gal, you killed it. Both of the black sheeps that we saw tonight, they're both better than mine. Come on, you know they are, right? Mine was not that good. I tried, I was hot, I was sick, I'm not making excuses. Yours are just better. This is fantastic, Ruth. Here's my first rug hooking project. It's not perfect, but I learned a lot and I had fun with it. Changed up some of the colors. Thank you for the beautiful kit. I'm hooked and getting ready to start my next. I really have enjoyed being part of this community. I am so enjoying having you here. Can't wait to meet you when I head out to Wisconsin. I hope we can make that work. Absolutely love it. I can see some of the materials I gave you. I can see how you switched it out. You did a much lighter background. You kept the cranberries and the dusty rose colors. You did great. This is your first project, and you have got the ba at the top, and you have got the black sheep in cursive at the bottom. Ruth, you killed it. You did great. This is immensely successful. This is primitive. It's beautiful. You changed the colors. You made them better. You did great. This bodes very well. Cindy, I'm trying to figure that out because I know that rug thing is coming up in, was it October, Robin? I put it on the calendar. I know I'm also going to Canada around that time, so I'm trying to squish them both right there. It might be that at the end of the summer, if book stuff is going well, that I make I probably won't at the end of the summer. I'm really going to try to go between fall and Christmas. That's my goal for this year. So it's a to be continued, but it's been on my calendar. Kansas has got to happen too. That's another state I have not been to. We got to plan some stuff and some book signings so I can offset some of the cost of traveling to do like a class or a book signing or a hook-in. So all the places I want to travel, I could really use help with that stuff. So I'm not just traveling for fun, although that's great too. But yeah, I'm gonna hit it all in the near future. I promise. I'm gonna be on the move. Kids are older now, right? It makes more sense now. Anyway, Ruth, this is just gorgeous. I hope that you're really happy and proud because this is just gorgeous. You did a phenomenal job. Beverly is another person who is constantly working on original projects, on dyeing, on everything. And Beverly wrote, my drawing for placement in progress so far, this is a 29 by 29 design, your own design, Beverly, and your hand-dyed yarn. You do it all and more. If you look on Facebook, if you're friends with Beverly on Facebook, she is constantly doing so many different things. I love this folky chicken rooster. Is it chicken rooster? I know that's not a single bird, but something like, it's a bird, and it's super folky. It's beautiful. You have got multiples of 2 going. I love how you reversed the scroll. Super smart composition. Super smart. So I've got nothing to say other than this is a super smart composition. You only used 2 motifs, and you flipped them both, and you have got the ultimate composition. This is working great, and I think I have one more image of it. Yep, you started it already. I think you said, did you write that you weren't feeling that well and that you were just working on hooking? Absolutely beautiful. So one is can they both be roosters? I still don't know about birds or plants. I got to beef it up, man. But absolutely beautiful, super Beverly background. Beverly, you have such a distinct style too. It's absolutely gorgeous. Beverly lives in a time warp. She found I know she does. She's like Marilyn Dangle, right? Like a wrinkle in time. Like it's impossible what she does in 1 week. It's just, I love the yellow too, Andrea. I do. The yellow and the orange, it's so warm. It's so French provincial, but it's so folky. It is going to look a bit French, isn't it, with these colors? It's going to look a little bit like Provençal. Really, really beautiful. Beverly, to be continued. That's a big to be continued. By the time I go on the computer tomorrow, she's going to be finished with it, right? It's just like insane. Wrinkle in time, man. Amy, you finished this project. This is so good. I finished the hooking part of this week. Thank you so much for the beautiful colors. I was afraid I was going to run out of the light color, so I mixed in a few darker colors in the background. I love what you did. I love what you did. But of course, I would have had plenty. Well, you never know though when you get into that feeling of playing chicken, right? And it's great that you did this, and I'm glad that you had plenty because you can use them for something else. And you say, regardless, I like the outcome, and I'm looking forward to finishing it off. Thank you again for a fun pattern, for a coffeeaholic, and the great colors. So this is a ribbon candy hooking pattern. This is coffee time for our Mondays and Wednesdays that we spend together, having coffee and looking at patterns. Lamb tongues around the corner. For each of these patterns, when people order this, it's a coffee mat or it's a mug mat. When people order this, they often say like, these are my favorite colors, and then I put those colors in. So I absolutely love the way this came out. Very strong directional hooking. Unexpected. It kind of reminds me of coffee dripping a little bit. It's really smart. It looks a little bit like a mosaic. I love the colors in this, right? I guess I color planned it, and I immediately forgot that I color planned it. These colors are great. I'd love to do something in these colors. A little bit of the pink rosies, a little bit of the lilacs and the purples, some real greens and camels, lots of neutrals. It sounds like I'm complimenting myself, but I'm not. I'm complimenting Amy. This is a beautiful piece, Amy. The stitching of the letters is exquisite. Really, really beautiful. Ruth, you are so welcome. You hit it out of the park with that sheep, I'm telling you. Ryan LeBeau, I caught these two this afternoon, had to put them in. Your punching is as exquisite as ever. I am loving your work. I'm loving your energy. I'm loving your positive spirit. You are so sweet. You like glow from North Texas. I can see your light glowing. This piece, I fall to pieces. Well, I can relate. You're very relatable too. I'm going to add that you're very relatable. You do a lot of fun pieces, funky pieces, wacky pieces. You're very relatable. Patsy Cline, Clouds in My Coffee. Clouds. Oh, is that a song? Clouds in My Coffee? I don't know that song. Oh, that sounds beautiful. Clouds in My Coffee. Ryan, this is gorgeous, and you have always been great since Rug One. You have been great, and you know how I feel about that. You are someone else. You're trying a lot of different things and going a lot of different directions, and you are really, really good. Like your font here, this is now your font. This is like the Ryan LeBeau font. This is it. I'm never going to do a font like this. You own this font in my mind. It's great to have a font that's so distinctive that it's just like you. I love the close-up of the stars and stripes, right? Somebody the other day for Flag Day. Did you see this on our Facebook group? I don't think you all saw it. I think you missed it. One of the buddies, I forgot who it was. Put up a flag and wrote Happy Flag Day. And I said to Joss, do you want to record Grand Old Flag? Because it's like our favorite patriotic song. She came over, we recorded it, and I posted it on the thread. And Joss and I were going, she's a grand old flag. And it was such a funny video. It's there if you look for it. She is so into it, my little one. Patriotic stars and stripes, just beautiful. Just a beautiful, simple composition, just like you. Beautiful, effective, relatable, strong colors, right? And now you're branching out to text. This one too, love, your stars. I still see this bars of striping, right? Crossing the seasons. You'd often do motifs, many motifs in the same piece. Flower, pumpkin, stars. I love it when you do this. This is one of your things. It's very distinctive. It's very you. It's very fun. It's like a Ryan sampler. It really is a Ryan sampler. You are doing such great work. I love the heart for the O in love as well. You are doing such great work. You immediately came out of the gate with style and technique, in great color choices and super far out whimsy, right? And it totally blew me away. Continues to blow me away. And you are still evolving the same style. And I love that about you, that you're not completely changing. You're not turning on a dime. You're not doing a 360. You are really sticking with, you do the same things, right? This is another one of your compositions with many motifs. Super exciting, colorful, great balance, great design, fun to look at, super technique, fantastic. You are doing great, Ryan. You are doing great. And I had one last piece. This was in the Ribbon Candy Rug Hooking and Punch Needle Club. Valerie Tillman finished the Vogue pattern, right? This is another shameless plug. This is a ribbon candy hooking pattern. I have the Vogue patterns from the early 20s that are copyright free at this point as Vogue covers. And a few people ordered them, and I hadn't seen any of them done yet. And Valerie Tillman finished this one. And I thought, wow, this is gorgeous. If you recognize the Vogue cover, if not, the link to the image and to the product, if you like it, is in the Ribbon Candy Hooking store, and the link is in the body of this video. So you are welcome, Ryan. So that is there. So I snuck a few things by you in terms of shopping, right? Because we have a few things coming up. The Henri Rousseau class, the Split Bloom Garden Mini Punch class, right? That's there now. The color and composition class, that's there for you. The Vogue patterns are there. Maude Maiden. There's a few things that we saw that were ribbon candy hooking today, and those are in the description of this video. You know I love it when you shop, right? Summer, summer's hard with the kids at home. They want to go to amusement parks, man, and they want to do it like tomorrow. Luckily, it's going to rain. I'm anxious to go. It's just been such a push lately. But wonderful to see you. I am so glad that we squeaked through without losing power. What a great gallery night. I am sorry that I ran over, but what a great gallery night. It has been amazing to see you. Andrea, how are you still awake? My word. Amazing to see you all. I love this night that we have together. Monday, we will be looking at the new episode, the new issue of Rug Cooking Magazine. Am I losing my mind? Because I thought I've already seen this on the cover of a past Rug Cooking Magazine. Am I losing my mind? I'm going to have to check, because when I saw this, I thought, oh, they sent a back issue. I went, nope, it's a current issue. I flipped through it. It looks beautiful. I just feel like I've seen this on the cover before. Help me out, folks. Maybe not. Maybe it's just me. But we're going to look at this new issue on Monday because I can tell that it's stellar. All of the issues are stellar. I realized that I think my subscription ended to Atha because I realized I haven't gotten an Atha magazine for ages. And I didn't even realize it. I need some kind of a prompt. So I think I might have missed some Atha issues. If anybody has any extra issues of the most recent ones that I could buy from you, I would love to cover them, like retroactively cover them. I can't believe I did that. But I feel like we haven't covered Atha in forever. I'm super ashamed of myself. I know my memberships are good, but the magazine is different. So I don't know how I manage that, but I got to get a hold of those. So if you can help with that, let me know. I'm really frustrated with myself. I could see if the back issues are online too. Anyway, clouds in my coffee, clouds in my coffee. I love Carly Simon. Not so much that song, but I love her. And isn't she gorgeous? Isn't she? Isn't it a shame that things didn't work out with her and James Taylor? Doesn't it seem like they should have? Let's not start, right? Because we probably all know that story. Thumbs up. Thank you so much. I hope it was a great night for you. It was a super fun night for me. I enjoyed myself hugely. I hope that you look back, if you haven't seen it yet, on the video from this morning with Juliet. I've been with you for over 3 hours today. I better get home and get some rest and read my book and stuff like that. I was working on a lot of projects today, a lot of different stuff, hitting the ground running stuff. So I will be back to you on Monday. And in the meantime, happy Father's Day. Yep, you can find me at ribboncandyhooking@gmail.com. Send me any questions or thoughts you have. I'm already projecting forward to the next book because I'm getting to the end of the Design Like book. So I'm not going to throw out the subject yet, but if you have done hooking for me before, you've enjoyed working on a book project with me, and you want to send me a flare, I'm happy to give you some advancce info because I am sort of gathering forces and putting out images to be hooked for the next book. It's exciting, but I'll be able to say soon. It's very different. It'll be exciting. So if you're looking for a project, in other words, write to me. I'll be there at Ribbon Candy Hooking. Happy weekend. Happy Father's Day. I will see you on Monday when we look at the next issue of Rug Hooking Magazine. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you soon.